Spencer at the 15, at the 20, out to the 22-yard line. Spencer from Ohio State. Jack Swiring, just picked up this past week, made the stop on the specialty unit. Air Coryell starts with their pilot, Dan Fouts at the controls. Spencer and Anderson. The wide receivers you saw there, Chandler and Joyner, with Winslow, the tight end. Don Masick, the center. Clappin, Lachey, McKnight, and Kowalski. First down. Anderson goes wide to the left. Coming back in motion, Wes Chandler. Fouts on first down, out into the left flat. That's Chandler, and Chandler is up over the 25 to the 26-yard line. Stop made by Bud Brown. Turner, the rookie, with Baumhauer and Little on the defensive line. The Dolphins, a club that has some problems on defense. Brodzinski shipped the brilliant youngster John Offerdahl, the rookie. Hugh Green, McNeil, Judson, Langford, and Brown in what is a patchwork defensive backfield. On second down, penalty marker goes. Anderson down the sideline, run out over there. And we'll wait and see what the call is going to be as the penalty markers flew.
Seems like a little devilment already on the part of the Chargers, Jay. They started off the game with that quick hitch over to the great wide receiver Chandler.
Illegal motion against the Chargers. The referee today, the veteran Dick Jorgensen.
And it seems on that play they wanted to take a little bit of advantage.
Illegal motion, number 40. Offense, still second down.
Call against Anderson.
Coming up to the line of scrimmage as quickly as possible and trying to catch the Dolphins, not exactly prepared to go at the Charger offense. They're going to try to mix things up and confuse the young defensive backs and linebacking crew of the Dolphins this afternoon.
Second down and 12 at the 21-yard line. There goes Joyner in motion to the far side. Fouts comes back the other way. Kellen Winslow drops the football. Winslow coming back from having his knee completely reconstructed. A Pro Bowler, 80 through 83, played at the University of Missouri.
And Fouts complained a couple of weeks ago to Winslow, saying that he was not coming out of his breaks quickly enough. In that particular case, it seems like Fouts took a little bit off the football because Winslow was not prepared to catch it at the time. One day he drilled him in the chest with a couple of weeks ago, and Winslow said he'd never forget. He'd come out of that break as quickly as possible, Jay.
Baumhauer had the coverage, but Winslow was in the clear. Donovan Rose in the backfield for the Dolphins. They're in the nickel. 3rd and 12. Fouts over the middle, and it goes to Anderson, who made the all-rookie team last year. Rose in there on the play, number 26, the second-year man from Hampton. Donovan Rose going off. He's been a little bit gimpy, but he's getting an opportunity here today.
Donovan Rose is the guy they're going to have to get involved in the defense this afternoon. As you said, it's a patchwork defensive secondary. A couple of injuries back there. Glenn Blackwood out on the injured reserve list. His brother Lyle back in the lineup. But they've got some problems in the secondary.
Ralph Mojenko, the second-year man from Michigan State, to do the punting. Young man born in West Germany. Mark Clayton back to receive. A poor punt. Clayton on the run, loses it. Big pile up at the 42-yard line. And the Chargers say they have the football. They unravel it, and it is going to be a turnover, and San Diego will put it back in play on offense.
The toughest part for a return man on a kick like that is that the punter happens to be left-footed. The spin goes the opposite way. Clayton had a dead run up to the football and couldn't handle the opposite spin. And Clayton is not normally the return guy back there. James Pruitt is the man who had been using it. Clayton this time, the spin is going away from his body. He can't handle it. That's the first break of the afternoon. It goes to the San Diego Chargers.
55, Derry Nelson was in there along with Robinson. Handoff goes to Spencer inside the 40-yard line. Spencer spun down by Bob Baumhauer, number 73.
Baumauer's a man we're going to have to watch this afternoon, Jay. His knee, again, a severe injury a couple of years ago, just coming back this season. He tested it in preseason, says it's not back to what it used to be, but knee injuries very rarely are.
In preseason, the Chargers were 3-1. They won from Dallas 20-0. From the Eagles 45-38. Lost to the Rams in overtime 20-17, and won from the Cardinals 24-17. Fouts to go upstairs. He's got a man. And it is complete to Pete Holohan, the tight end, number 88. They put Holohan and Winslow both in the lineup on that play. First down, Brodzinski 59 on the tackle.
Now, Winslow came from one side, Holohan from the other. They confused the Dolphin defense. They're actually on the same side of the field, but they snuck Holohan down the side and across the defense, confusing the secondary and the linebacking crew of the Dolphins. They're going to do more of that this afternoon, Jay. They want to try and do as much movement as they can to try to confuse the secondary.
11:48 to play. We're in the first period. Tremaine Johnson in the game, 83, set to the right. They pitch it to Anderson. And Anderson across the 20. Fights his way to the 18 before big Hugh Green, number 55, and the rookie at left end, 95, T.J. Turner, make the stop.
Now, Holohan and Winslow, they have to come out of this formation and catch the ball as they did the previous play. They also have to block. Watch the top part of your screen. Number 80, that's Winslow, and number 88, that's Holohan, blocking, just letting the flow go around and making some room for Spencer, who happens to be the toughest runner in the San Diego Chargers they've had this year.
Don Shula's been concerned about his run defense. Anderson, Spencer, and Gilbert McGee are all in there. Fouts throws back, nobody there. Well, Fouts had to bail out. It looked like a blown play. There was just nobody in the zone over there, and good pressure from Big George Little, number 99 at right end, who's been a very consistent performer for the Dolphins.
Yeah, but Fouts isn't going to get caught back there. He was not sacked very often last year. He knows Winslow. That's who he's looking for, actually. Winslow got caught up in the line of scrimmage, and Fouts is not going to take the sack. He's going to throw that thing away. He's a veteran, Jay.
Fouts. Marino is not the veteran Fouts is, but neither one of these guys like to take those sacks.
You're absolutely right. I've got Dan on the brain.
Third down and 4. Out into the flat it comes to Anderson. He's at the 5. Touchdown! To Anderson, who jettisoned himself over the goal line from the 5.
And that's the man that Chuck Studley, the defensive coordinator of the Dolphins, said he was most worried about. Gary Anderson, coming over from the USFL now with a complete year under his belt, goes over the top for the score.
Ralph Benershka attempts the point. Mojenko holding. It is up, and it is good. We have 10 minutes. And 52 seconds left to play in this first period. And we're going to show you the ability of these Chargers in just a minute. First of all, let's run down a couple of scores for you as we have our first score here. And this big crowd applauding the play of the Chargers and Anderson, being congratulated there by Kellen Winslow. In the fourth, the Bears lead by only 3. Washington over Philadelphia. The Rams are beating St. Louis. Our 10-minute ticker bringing you up to date, as it will throughout this season. Houston banging Green Bay this afternoon, and Detroit over Minnesota. San Francisco winning big over Tampa Bay, and Atlanta the same over New Orleans. Denver 7-0 over the Raiders in the early going. No score at Buffalo with the Jets there, and San Diego leading 7-0 here. Well, a turnover, and the San Diego Chargers took advantage of it. Kansas City has an early lead over Cincinnati. Pittsburgh's at Seattle, Indianapolis at New England. 7-0 here. Benershka's going to do the kicking off. A short kick coming at the 12 to Carter. Joe Carter's at the 20, to the 25, out to the 26-yard line. Carter brought down on the return by Fred Robinson. Well, here's the touchdown again, Jimmy.
Well, let's take a look at it. Bounce back to throw, and Anderson is the guy he's going to try to get the football to all afternoon. Again, there was traffic inside. That's what the Chargers are trying to do. Create. Now watch this leap over the top. Number 43, that's Bud Brown trying to come underneath and submarine him. But number 40, Gary Anderson, has as much athletic ability as any player in the National Football League.
Remember when they used to shoot that guy out of the cannon at the circus? That's what it looked like. All right, first down for Dan Marino. The Dolphins start from their own 27-yard line. Marino throwing, and it is complete out to the 30-yard line. Bruce Hardy, the tight end, had to go down low to pick it off. Thomas Benson, the right inside linebacker, 57 on the tackle. Marino with Hampton and Davenport in the backfield. Clayton, Duper, and Hardy. Hardy, the tight end. Joe Rose out on the IR, injured. Green, Foster, the brilliant Dwight Stevenson at center with Ronnie Lee and Greg Cook. He's second down at about 7. Dan Johnson, 87, is now the tight end, and looked like Marino might have audibleized here. He hands it off to Hampton, and Hampton gets near the 33-yard line. He was run down by Billy Ray Smith. Earl Wilson, 93, also in there on the tackle. We're going to see these Chargers do a lot of stunning. He's very active on defense. Williams, Ian, and the rookie Leslie O'Neal. He's a good one, they tell us. Billy Ray Smith. Ty Allard is also a rookie with Thomas Benson and Fred Robinson. Davis, Walters, Dale, and Bird in the secondary. Tony Nathan's in the lineup now. Marino operates from the shotgun, 3rd down and 3. Comes, and a brilliant play by Danny Walters. The pass to Nathan. Walters, the left cornerback, stayed at home.
He did stay at home. The Dolphins brought 4 wide receivers into the football game, as well as number 22, Tony Nathan. He's the man in the backfield. Watch him to the right of your screen, coming out of the backfield, but he doesn't get enough for the first down. That's the problem. That more is coming inside. He might have had enough for the first down, but Marino chose to go with Nathan, who didn't pick it up.
Reggie Roby on to do the punting. Averaged 39.2 in preseason. Lionel Little Train James downfield. James coming up, fair catch at the 28-yard line. And that's where the Chargers will put it in play. We have 8 minutes and 35 seconds left to play. We are in the first quarter here as the Chargers have gone on top 7-0. That was a 37-yard punt by the veteran Roby out of Iowa, who has done a splendid job over the years. First down for San Diego. Joyner comes into the slot right. There goes Joyner to the far side. And Fouts on the delay. The Little Train trying to pick up some steam. And it was Jackie Schiff who made the stop on James. Schiff, number 50, making the play at about the 32-yard line. Well, our first opportunity to wish you a very pleasant good afternoon, a beautiful day in Southern California. Jimmy, wonderful to be here with you in what already has been an exciting football game, and it's going to be one whale of an afternoon here.
It's good to see you too, Jay. The advantage the Chargers have right off the bat, of course, is the fact that they're scoring first. The Dolphins have the problem of going at this game from behind, and it's Gary Anderson again.
Anderson almost breaks it. Bud Brown made the stop. There is a penalty marker down. They're going to bring this one back. Illegal procedure against San Diego.
Everyone has to come to a complete stop before a man can move. 89 did not come to a complete stop. Second down.
Jay, that's the same play they tried to work earlier in the game, the second play of the game, where they had motion once again, trying to get Anderson down the sideline. Apparently, they feel they have a good matchup between Anderson and one of the defensive backs for the Dolphins.
61-year-old Don Coryell looking on. Wes Chandler, the man who committed that infraction. Of course, familiar to many of our viewers. He played at Florida. Down the middle. It is complete. That is Chandler at midfield in the first down. William Judson made the tackle. But at the moment, Air Coryell is flying very smoothly.
And he has a lot of weapons to go to. Fouts has a variety of people that can hurt you, be it Wes Chandler or Gary Anderson. He's short. He's set so short in the pocket. It's difficult to get to Fouts. There you see him just with a three-step drop and directly on stride to Wes Chandler. Fitting it in between three defenders. There you see in the middle of your screen, Langford, number 44, going up on top. Wes Chandler in between. A great throw by Dan Fouts.
Here goes Joyner in motion. Now coming back the other way, and the give to Lionel James. And the little train gets down to the 42-yard line. James, last year, was just too shy of the NFL record for running backs in receiving. He had 86 catches. He's a very exciting player. He has 11 yards on 2 carries. Bud Brown, 43 on the tackle. James comes out of the lineup. Fouts is 5 for 7, 65 yards, and the touchdown pass to Anderson. 6:15 to go, first quarter. Now James is back. It's Anderson. Anderson cutting in, gets the first down. George Little, 99. John Opperdahl, 56, making the stop. We saw Dan Fouts a moment ago, Jimmy. He was very upset on that motion call. Don Shula, 56 years old, Painesville, Ohio, your former coach.
My former coach, and he's got his hands full this afternoon. My point before, Jay, is that you don't want to get behind earlier in this football game because Don Shula wants to control the ball a little bit with a running game. But if you get down 14 points, you're down 7 already, you have trouble running the football, especially against the Chargers.
Well, they put Joyner in motion again. Fouts a lot of time. He comes out here to Joyner, and Joyner is out of bounds after picking up the first down at the 16-yard line. Again, they're working on Judson, 49 out there. Joyner, now in his 18th season. He wears his years right on his jersey.
Now watch the prop. They had a little bit of traffic problem here. Traffic control. They need a cop in the middle. There's Winslow. And what he's doing, he's also getting bumped to the ground, but he's preventing number 49, William Judson, from getting over into his coverage responsibility. That's their thought. Get all those great wide receivers on opposite ends, cross them across the middle, and cause a traffic problem.
Spencer and McGee are now in the backfield with Anderson. Buford McGee to the 17-yard line. This is a third-year man, McGee out of Mississippi, and he's a fellow that kind of makes the option go here. Opperdahl, the rookie, 56, Brodzinski, 59 on the tackle. Clock running with 5 minutes to play. First quarter, San Diego, Jack Murphy Stadium, and the Chargers leading it 7-0. Ball near the 16-yard line. Dan versus Dan here this afternoon. Fouts and Marino hooking up. Pitch back coming to Anderson. And he got maybe a yard. Stop made by Jackie Schiff. Time to bring you up to date. They're still playing at Chicago, 34-31, the Bears. In the fourth quarter, you saw that Washington score. Houston wins over Green Bay. This is a feature we'll have for you throughout the season. Atlanta over New Orleans and San Francisco defeating Tampa Bay. 10-minute ticker coming your way. New England over Indianapolis in the early going. Kansas City leading Cincinnati. Nothing yet at Seattle. McGee is going down and tried to lateral that ball off. And he did. McGee got it to Anderson, who is near the 6-yard line. Bud Brown knocked him out of bounds over there. There you see Anderson Runs a little like Gale Sayers.
Yeah, he certainly does. This is, when you talk about the Charger offense, this is like drawing it up in the dirt. You know, you got a stick in the playground in the dirt. You drew it up. Well, I'll go down, and I'll pitch it back to you, and then you pitch it back to me. And that's what the Chargers do under Coryell.
The first down is at the 6-yard line. Chargers are already leading 7-0. Anderson, the single setback behind Dan Fouts. Fouts throwing and incomplete. It looked like he was going to Pete Holohan. Joyner showed up at the last second to help out, or Judson might have intercepted that.
Now, that's one of the unusual times where Fouts really threw the ball into coverage. He had no business going into that corner of the end zone. If there's that much traffic in that area, you just get rid of it and get it out of bounds. Look at the area here. There are 4 or 5 people in the vicinity, 2 receivers with the possibility, but you're absolutely right. It was Joyner's ball to take, and William Judson, number 49, just gets in there, and with the traffic problem, it's an incomplete pass.
Second down, goal to go at the 6. Anderson and Spencer in the backfield. This is Anderson. Anderson down to the 3-yard line. They piled him up in there, and Brzezinski, 59, leading the way, the former Ram who joined Miami in 81. Anderson is out of Arkansas. Anderson, of course, one of many USFL players now back in the National Football League. Charlie Joyner needs 114 to pass Don Maynard. Mr. Joyner is something special. At 716 receptions, most ever in the NFL coming into today. Third down and 3. McGee in deep trouble. Down he goes back at the 10. Fine play by Paul Langford, number 44, the strong safety who makes the play. We'll get Benershka to come on, the field goal unit. Now, Benershka is the young man who, of course, has had all the stomach disorders out of Cal Davis. Now in his 9th year, originally a Raider draft choice as Fouts goes off. Benershka, though, is okay physically, but he had a very poor preseason field goal-wise. He's going to attempt this one with Mojenko holding at the 16, a 26-yarder. Third most accurate field goal kicker in the league coming into this year. And he delivers. 2 minutes and 18 seconds remaining to be played here in the first quarter. And the Chargers have bounced out to a 10-0 advantage. Right now, time to update you to New York, Bob Costas.
All right, Jay, let's check the debut of Jim Kelly in Buffalo. Bill's first possession takes them 53 yards in 9 plays for the score, capping it off with this 1-yarder to Greg Bell for the touchdown. And on the drive, Kelly was 3 for 3. Back out to the Jaybird.
All right, Robert, thank you, and best of luck to you and my old partner, of course, Paul McGuire and Frank DeFord, your new guys, and to Ahmad. I know you're going to have a great year on NFL 86. We've got a 10-0 score on the board. Jimmy, does this surprise you, the way the Chargers have been able to come out here?
Well, it does. They had the early mistake by Mark Clayton dropping the football on the punt return, and that's enough to make anybody's blood boil. And you can bet Don Shula right now is starting to boil really quickly under the San Diego sun. You know, both coaches had mentioned to us yesterday that they would have rather start someplace else, but unfortunately, this is the opener. This is where the NFL schedule puts them.
That's the way it is. Carter across the 10, at the 15, the 20, 25, out to the 27-yard line. Nice work by Carter. Fred Robinson, the linebacker, number 90, making the play. 2:09 left to go in this first quarter, and the Chargers leading at 10-0. Dan Marino in 85, 59.3%, 30 touchdowns. Marino has thrown 98 touchdowns. This is game number 44 for him. Hand off to Hampton. Lorenzo Hampton. Good continuous effort across the 32-yard line. Hampton, who played at Florida, very explosive runner. Gil Bird, 22 on the tackle.
Hampton is the guy that the Dolphins are looking forward to trying to establish a running game with. He and Ron Davenport, 2 second-year players. But down 10-0 this early, Jay, you wonder how long they're going to go and try to establish that type of a running game as it is. The Chargers just blowing them away with 118 total yards to just 13 for the Dolphins.
2nd down and 6 from the 32. Marino loses the football, and it looks like the Chargers are going to get it. It was Thomas Benson, 57, Billy Ray Smith, 54. They were in there. Don Shula sees Marino, and the Dolphins cough it up again. Benson credited with coming up with a football. It was Billy Ray Smith that hit in there and dislodged the ball. Billy Ray's daddy is here watching him play today.
And he will enjoy this, watching this replay. Number 91 and number 90, that's Leslie O'Neal. He's the rookie. Number 54, Billy Ray Smith. He dislodges the ball away from Marino, and that's the second big mistake that Dawson made in just the first quarter. Marino does something uncharacteristic here. He usually gets rid of the football, but he's in traffic now. Billy Ray gets that left hand around the side and knocks the ball away. Second big mistake.
Here's the pitch back to Anderson, and Anderson fumbles. As he got near the 22-yard line, he was down. The ground cannot cause a fumble, as you knew probably from reading recent rules or watching recent NFL action. George Little, 99 on the tackle. Well, his 24th season in the National Football League. Don Shula. Let's see if Anderson was down before that ball went out.
Well, I'll tell you.
Close.
There's a look from the other side. Number 43, Bud Brown. He's known as a hitter.
Looked like he had one knee down. A little tough to tell about the other one.
That's right. The ground can't cause a fumble, but somebody's helmet can.
Wide receivers both set to the right side. They go the other way with Anderson. Steps outside, has the first down. Jackie Shipp, number 50, ran him out of bounds over there. Shipp, the number 1 draft choice, now in his 3rd year out of Oklahoma. The Sooners, very impressive yesterday in their victory over UCLA.
Jackie Shipp has been a player that has not developed very quickly for the Dolphins. He was drafted a couple of years ago, back in '83, and did not establish himself as the hard, tough linebacker they thought he would right off the bat. Now, a couple of years later, with some experience under his belt, Chuck Studley, the defensive coordinator, feels that he's improved, but not to the point where he's playing like a number 1 choice.
Anderson, 31 carries, or 31 yards on 6 carries. Joyner goes in motion to the far side. Spencer is at the 10, 5, touchdown! San Diego putting it on him. Tremendous block on this play when you see it again. Wes Chandler, 89, was the man that made it happen over the right side. Don Shula's Dolphins in early trouble here.
Now watch the block downfield. Wes Chandler, number 89. He'll come into your screen down the bottom. Number 43, Spencer, is following. Watch, he's up there chicken fighting with him. That's what a wide receiver does. He chicken fights, Jay. You just get up in somebody's face and you fight, and you hope the back is good enough to break off your back.
Benershka with the extra point. 24 seconds left to play. First quarter. 17-0 Chargers. Well, who would have expected it to be this way in the early going?
Tim Spencer, you have Gary Anderson, Lionel James, we haven't seen a great deal of yet. You got Kellen Winslow, you got Wes Chandler, you got Tremaine Johnson on the bench. They may have the greatest array of specialty people that has ever been assembled on one football team in the National Football League, Jim.
The 2 turnovers, and both times the turnover allowing Don Coryell's club to put points on the board. Chicago wins by 10 over Cleveland. That's now a final. Washington over Philadelphia, 41-14 a final. The Rams beat St. Louis. Houston over Green Bay, and it was Detroit over Minnesota. San Francisco, a final 31-7, and here now are the scores of the later games. Raiders and Denver tied 7-all first period. As the kickoff is coming down to Joe Carter once more. He's at the 10, 15, at the 20. And Carter gets to the 23-yard line. Woody Lowe, the veteran outside linebacker, there to make the play. Lowe, who wears number 51. New England with an early lead against Indianapolis. Kansas City leading Cincinnati 7-0. Pittsburgh at Seattle, they're scoreless in the second quarter. Here in San Diego, 17-0. And the Dolphins trying to get their offense going. We expected both of these clubs to be able to put points on the board, but up to now, the Dolphins haven't had the football that much because of the turnovers. Play action, and the pass comes to Hampton. Hampton hit it about the 24-yard line by Billy Ray Smith, number 54. To welcome those of you who have been watching the Bears and the Browns as Chicago won at 41-31. Jay Randolph with Jimmy Cephalo. Beautiful afternoon in Southern California, but not for that man. The Dolphins find themselves down 17-0. A couple of Gary Anderson touchdowns and a field goal, and we are at the end of the first period here at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. And that's right, it is the Chargers 17 and the Dolphins nothing. Back with more action for you right after these messages.
This Bud's for all that you do.
They said this city was through. You said, no way.
Each day the spirit's growing. Your pride is really showing. You make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Welcome to the auto show.
We need an inexpensive,
dependable
first car. See the Yugo.
I need a tough little car.
See the Yugo. We need a safe,
economical
second car. Oh, see the Yugo.
For most of the reasons you need a car, the Yugo is all the car you need.
Wow, $39.90.
Maybe you don't want to spend more than $39.90 for a new car, but until now you've had to. Everybody needs a Yugo sometime. Yugo, $39.90.
Starting September 1st, American Express is changing the way America shops. There's something special going on in stores across the country. A brand new service from American Express. Announcing Buyer's Assurance. It doubles the repair period of the manufacturer's warranty. Doubles it up to an extra year. All you have to do is use the American Express card. Any place in the country till the end of the year. Now, why would you shop with anything else?
159 yards for San Diego to 14 for Miami in the first quarter. And the Dolphins, second down and 9 at the 24-yard line. You see the most yards gained in the years. Good protection. Marino throws, and it's complete to Nat Moore. Nat, the 13-year veteran from Florida. 71 career touchdowns for that great veteran. First down. Time to check in again with Bob Costas. Robert?
Jay, it's another renewal of hostilities between the Raiders and Broncos, this time in Denver. Mark Wilson over the middle to last year's MVP Marcus Allen. 24 yards later, he's tied the game at 7. Earlier, John Elway hit Steve Watson from 35 for the Bronx.
First down at the 35-yard line. The handoff to Hampton, and Lorenzo is bumped down hard by Billy Ray Smith. Smith is the defensive leader right there, number 54. Played at Arkansas, and you kind of Hampton looking at him a little bit, saying, how do you do that? Billy Ray's dad, of course, was a tremendous player in this league, spent many years with Baltimore.
And Billy Ray is going to be a tremendous player as well, Jay. They use him much as Denver uses Carl Mecklenburg, and as the Dolphins used A.J. Dewey for years. He can play down, he can play up, he can cover somebody out of the backfield, or he can blitz from a variety of positions. He confuses offenses.
Mark Clayton, Nat Moore, and Mark Duper all in the lineup. Second down and 9. Long one downfield. It is complete to Clayton. Penalty marker down. Wayne Davis the cornerback, number 20, on the tackle, but there is a marker down on the play, back at the 36-yard line. Offside, Chargers. The play stands.
Defense, decline. First down.
Jimmy, as you well know, the Dolphins have been behind before to these Chargers big. They're down 17-0. Here's a look.
Marino stands in the pocket, takes quite a lick from number 91. That's Leslie O'Neal, but he hangs in there and delivers it. He knew he had a free play. He probably saw out of the corner of his eye that the Chargers were offside. It was a little obvious from up here. I'm sure it was on the field. He had a freebie down to number 83. Whether you complete it or not, might as well go for the home run when you've got a freebie.
40 yards on the play and a first down at the 24. Marino's got good protection. He goes out to Duper, and Duper picks up about 7 or 8. Davis 20, Walters 23 on the tackle, and one of the Chargers is shaken up back at the 26-yard line.
Oddly enough, that's the first time that we've heard from Mark Duper this afternoon, and he happens to be Dan Marino's favorite target. He has been over the past couple of years.
That's the rookie nose man, Terry Unrein, who is down, number 98. We have a timeout with 13:03 remaining in the first half. The Chargers lead 17-0.
Here they lie, the family sedans of the past. Bulky, boxy, portraits in obsolescence. But one performance sedan has refused to join these relics. The Dodge Lancer. Sleek lines, advanced interior, front-wheel drive, all at an affordable price. The Lancer is making history instead of becoming part of it. Dodge setting new standards of performance.
America rides Monroe. America rides Monroe. On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
More people ride Monroe shocks and struts than any other brand. And right now, get up to $20 in rebates. Get $2 back on each Monroe Matic Plus. And $5 back on each Gas Magnum or Gas Matic. They'll give you the best ride ever, guaranteed.
On the road, the way to go. America rides Monroe.
Thank you for calling Bob's.
I need my VCR fixed.
Please direct any service questions directly to our distributor in Indonesia.
Got any trees?
With many audio and video products, good luck finding good service. But at Curtis Mathis Home Entertainment Centers, we promise you quick response and dependable service. You see, our terrific audio and video products aren't the only reasons it's worth coming to Curtis Mathis. Curtis Mathis, is it really worth it to go anywhere else?
Today's game is brought to you by America's Best Back Trucks. At Dodge, we don't just talk tough, we prove it. By Radio Shack, a division of the Tandy Corporation. And by Wheaties, 100% whole wheat for energy to feel like a champion. Wheaties, what the big boys eat.
Second down and 3 at the 17 for the Dolphins. Down 17-0. Marino going long and just over the outstretched fingertips of Mark Clayton. Coverage back there by Walters, 23. Don Shula. Only George Hallis has more wins than he does. 7-7 now, the Raiders in Denver. Same score, Jets in Buffalo. San Diego leading here, of course. That was Marino's first incompletion there a moment ago. New England 3-0 over Indianapolis. Kansas City still leading Cincinnati. Nothing doing yet at Seattle. Here's third down and 3. 4 wide receivers in the game now. James Pruitt, who missed the airplane out here yesterday. Number 82 is in the game. He's looked very, very good in preseason. Penalty marker down. Pass coming to Clayton. Clayton inside the 10-yard line before he's hit by Davis, number 20. And let's see what the penalty is. Line judge indicates the illegal procedure against Miami. Those of you who just joined us, 10:52 of the first quarter, fouls to Gary Anderson, who hurdled over the goal line, 18-yard play.
Number 68, offense.
Greg Cook committed the violation. 2:18 of the first quarter. Benershka kicks a 26-yard field goal, and then with 24 seconds left in the first period, Fouts, Tim Spencer, and a score of 17 yards on the play, 17-0.
Greg Cook with the mistake, and it's unusual. He is a veteran, a free agent picked up by the Dolphins from the Packers, but the entire Charger left side of their defense was coming that time. Got a little nervous in there, Jay. A little happy feet before the snap.
Terry Unrein, number 98, back in for the Chargers. He was shaken up a moment ago.
Marino changing the play to line of scrimmage. It's a trouble to do that. We're in a shotgun.
Marino down the middle. Oh, it's a beautiful play indeed. What a score that is, as that man right there has to be pleased with what Marino did. Mark Clayton caught it after Marino changes the play at the line of scrimmage.
This is a big play by Marino, figuring out the line of scrimmage. He talks to his receivers by stepping up to the line of scrimmage. And when you've got man-to-man coverage and you're Mark Clayton against anybody, it really doesn't matter, because Kevin Wyatt was just left in the dust by him. He's got that movement that's tough for a defensive back.
Wyatt, a draft choice in the Dolphins, who came over here a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. He's seen Clayton's moves many times in practice before.
That was Fuad Reveiz kicking the extra point. 22-yard touchdown reception by Clayton. And we have 12 minutes left to go in the first half.
You're about to go down a road you've never been down before. Behind the wheel of a truck you've never seen. It's new from Dodge. It's called Dakota. Claiming the ground between the heart of a full-size and the soul of a compact. It's the first true mid-size pickup ever made. With an available 3.9-liter V6, there's plenty of thunder under the hood. Inside, room for 3. Outside, an optional 8-foot bed carries a full-size load. The new mid-size Dakota. Climb aboard. Cross into Dakota territory. Dodge Dakota. The new state of the American truck.
Managing information means storing it, finding it, and moving it from A to B. When that meant linking 800 miles of Alaskan pipeline, they called Contel. When it meant matching orders to inventory at the Stoneham Lumber Company, they called Contel. Small business or tall order, Contel can help you manage information better, too. For Contel, I'm Charlton Heston.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Raiders battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
17-7, San Diego. We're in the second quarter. Fuad Reveiz set to put it in play. McGee 21 and Lionel James 26 downfield. The Dolphins on the board. Sellout crowd, San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium on a picture postcard afternoon here in Southern California. That's James, and he will down it. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Get a chance to see Marino. This is what you get when you pay $9 million.
Yeah, this is a $9 million throw, that's for certain. The problem with the shotgun is that it's difficult to audible, change the play at the line of scrimmage. You see him doing it there two ways, both with his voice and with his arms, telling his wide receiver what he wants them to do. He gets a man-to-man coverage against Wyatt, number 30, with Clayton, number 83, in the slot. And Mr. Wyatt, fifth-round choice of the Dolphins just this past year, finds out why he was cut, because Clayton beat him in practice like a drum.
On first down, Fouts throws out into the right flat to Little Train James. They pick up yardage to the 24, almost to the 25. Langford 44 and Brodzinski 59 on the stop. Clock running now with 11.5 to go in the first half of action. now in his 14th year. 47 300-yard games in his fine career. Spencer looks like he's got the first down. Offerdahl 56, Jackie Shipp 50 on the play. Spencer, great blocker, hurt his ankle in the St. Louis preseason game, but has bounced back. There's the scoring drive. Marino to Clayton as he really put it on consignment. Spencer now has 28 yards on 3 carries, has a touchdown. From the 32-yard line, Joyner goes in motion. Out it comes. Anderson drops the ball. Time again for an update with Bob Costas.
All right, Jay, after a 54-yarder from Mark Wilson to Dokie Williams sets it up, Wilson goes to the tight end Todd Christensen for 16 at Denver, and the Raiders have the lead 14-7 over the Broncos. The Raiders beat them twice in overtime last year.
Well, the action there in the Mile High City and here in San Diego, Chargers leading 17-7. Anderson and James are now in the backfield. Jerome Foster, 78, is the nose man right now for the Dolphins as Fouts throws, and it's complete to Joyner. Joyner has the first down. He knew where the marker was and got out of bounds right at the 43-yard line in front of William Judson. Joyner out of Grambling. What a dandy he's been over the years. Only Jeff Nanote of Atlanta is older than him as far as the National Football League competition goes.
At 39, Jay, the oldest wide receiver to ever play this game. It's amazing. You know, I got out of the game, I think, at 27, and I felt like an older guy after getting beat up for a while. He's been getting beaten up for 18 full seasons.
Tank Younger was telling us yesterday. Tank now with the Chargers. In remarkable shape. Joyner's still in after all these years. Ball is away, and have we got another turnover? No. It is going to belong to the Dolphins as Jerome Foster came in there. Masick, 62, down on the ball, and Masick holds on.
Yeah, but it's also his man, number 78, Jerome Foster, that gets by Masick and makes the big hit on Dan Fouts. That's got to hurt. Well, you know what, though? After you get beat on a play, might as well go back and see if you can pick anything up. That time he picked up the football.
Foster at the nose position, not playing today. Mike Charles, suspended for 4 games. Missed a couple of practices this week. Refused to take a drug test. And he is on the shelf. 2nd and 21. Lionel James. They tried the draw, hoping the Dolphins were looking for the pass. It's out to the 38-yard line. Mac Moore, number 91 for the Dolphins, making the play. He came over from the BC Lions in '85. James going out. James, the smallest player in the National Football League, 5'6½", wringing wet, 170 pounds, from Auburn. 3rd down and 16.
Jay, after the first quarter, the Dolphins had the ball for a mere 3.5 minutes. San Diego, 11.5. And that does not produce very many points. Not for the Dolphins, it doesn't.
Over the middle, first down. Tremaine Johnson, who has been getting better, a couple of seasons in the USFL. And 171 catches in his 2 years over there. Bud Brown, 43 on the tackle.
Yeah, but in his years here in the NFL, this is his 2nd season. That was just his 5th catch overall. We mentioned earlier the patchwork of the Miami Dolphins secondary. There you see number 42, middle of your screen, Lyle Blackwood, trying to get over. But again, Fouts threads the needle between a variety of people.
8 minutes, 20 seconds to go in the first half. Chargers leading 17-7. James and Spencer in the backfield now. Fouts straight back. Throws too high. Pass was intended for Wes Chandler. Judson had the coverage. Chandler took a dive on the play as he went up. Was hit as he went down. The pass much too tall. The Raiders now leading Denver 16-7. Jets and Buffalo at 7-all in the 2nd. Our game here. Then it's New England shutting out Indianapolis. Cincinnati and Kansas City tied at 7 in the 2nd. Still no scoring. Pittsburgh at Seattle. Fouts is 10 out of 15, 122 yards and a touchdown. Doug Better's 75, who signed this past week. The 9-year veteran from Novato Reno, number 75 in the lineup. Fouts throws to the far side. Incomplete. At the 28-yard line, James, the intended receiver. The linebacker, Hugh Green, over there. They had him isolated one-on-one, but James couldn't hold on.
Well, Hugh Green, a good cover linebacker, but it's always a mismatch. I don't care who the linebacker happens to be, Hugh Green or anybody else. When you're going against the little train, Lionel James, a year ago, he lit up the NFL with all-purpose yardage. And I'd be very surprised if he didn't get close to that total once again.
He's an exciting performer. Don Coryell just oozes confidence about his abilities. He says good things come in small packages when it comes to Lionel Little Train James. James went in motion. Fouts throwing and batted away. He was trying to go to Kellen Winslow. Tremaine Johnson was also in the zone over there. Good work by Paul Langford, number 44, and number 28, Don McNeil.
They nearly picked another one off. Second time. It is early in the season, Jay, but that's the second time this afternoon that Fouts has made a poor decision and thrown right in the middle of coverage.
Nat Moore is dropping back as the middleman to receive this punt. They've got Mark Herman on the field now.
Yeah, they're going to run this ball.
They're going to run this ball. We're expecting them to punt, but they're not. Well, here's a wrinkle. I think they're going to take the 5 yards, aren't they?
Yeah, Mashenko's just going for a stroke.
Yeah, okay.
Back and forth.
I looked up and I see Herman out on the field, number 9.
That's another, once again,
you never know what Don Coryell
might do. That's back in the schoolyard, rounded up in the dirt once again. How about we send the punter out this time? He stands back there. The quarterback will stand up and make a snap. Tell the punter to walk around for a while until the referee blows the whistle. If the referee's watch was wrong, Majenko would be a tired young man now.
And here is Dick Jorgensen.
Number 9, offense, still 4th down.
Don Shula yelling out. There you see Mark Herman's stats. Boy, he had a good preseason. All 3 quarterbacks look good for the Chargers. Fouts, Herman, and the youngster Tom Flick. Impressive.
I have a feeling that with this offense, with those people back there, you could go down and play quarterback, Jay, and do all right.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Ralph Mojenko out of Michigan State to do the punting. Nat Moore is deep. Moore calls for a fair catch and gathers it in at the 8-yard line. And some will say, should he have called for a fair catch inside the 10? But we'll take a timeout with San Diego leading 17-7.
Just because you've washed your car doesn't mean you're finished. You need some Armor All on the dash, the bumper, and especially the tires. Armor All. It's the finishing touch every time you wash your car.
Leave it to the good hands, people.
With so much emphasis on youth these days, it's great that Allstate appreciates the wisdom and dignity of us mature folks. We can save 10% on Allstate homeowners insurance and save on car insurance, too. But you have to be 55 and retired. So, to those youngsters who've not attained such lofty stature, a word from the wise. Nya, 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 nya.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
I like your thinking. It's the solution we've been searching for. We've included networking, multi-user systems, as well as PC-compatible workstations and software. And I like your installation, support, training, service. Radio Shack computer centers have it all. I know we can do business.
Tandy Computers, only at Radio Shack. In business, for business.
This water damage is going to run $750. What would have stopped it?
Thompson's Water Seal protects wood, brick, and concrete with its special waterproofing formula. Thompson's Water Seal, a great defense against repair expense.
I'm Bryant Gumbel, live from Hollywood. A special Today at Night looks at TV's past, present, and future with guests Jackie Gleason, Bill Cosby, and much more. Join us Thursday night.
17-7. The Chargers have the lead. Nat Moore, an old teammate of yours, just making a fair catch inside the 10. That a good idea?
Well, it depends. It depends on the flight of the ball. Usually you stand right against the 10, and if it goes behind you, just leave it go. But if the ball is floating around back there, I think Nat made the right choice. Besides, he taught me how to do that. I'm not going to second-guess him now.
No, indeed. 1st and 10 at the 9-yard line. Looks like Marino may have called an audible. Well, a throw out of there. Complete to the far sideline. That's the tight end, Bruce Hardy, number 84. Hardy, who was a quarterback in college and played at Arizona State. Fred Robinson, number 90, made the stop.
Bruce Hardy is one of the best equipped football players I've ever known. He snaps for punts, for extra points. He played quarterback in a Dolphin game a couple of years ago, can play fullback if you need him to, and is quite a tight end.
Mentioned earlier Joe Rose on injured reserve with a quadricep injury. They'd like to get him back as soon as possible.
They would. He's a good possession tight end, catches the football over the middle without thinking about it very much.
They got the first down from the 20. Going long, and it is incomplete. Mark Clayton. Wayne Davis had the coverage. Leslie O'Neal made Marino pay for it.
He did, and Wayne Davis, number 20, quite a play downfield, a very good play. You'll watch in your screen down the bottom. Here he is, Clayton, number 20, or excuse me, Clayton, 83, against Davis, number 20. It's anybody's ball at this point, and just at the end, he leaps in to take the ball away from Clayton. Another look at it from this angle. Great play, both of them going after the football. He swipes it away. Would have been a big gainer for the Dolphins. Big play by Davis.
Those pictures right there tell the tale about the remarkable athletes that play in the National Football League.
Especially as a cornerback and as a wide receiver.
Bob Levy and our crew bringing you the sights, sounds of today. Over the middle, dropped. Mark Duper. Duper was trying to hold on at the 33. It was a tough catch. Danny Walters, 23, had the coverage.
That's the toughest catch in football for a wide receiver, coming across the middle. And I don't care how many times they tell you not to think about that defensive back looking you in the eye, but self-preservation takes over somewhere along the line. And in that case, Walters was the thing that made Mark Duper think twice about catching the ball.
Dolphins have Clayton, Pruitt, Moore, and Duper all in the lineup. 3rd down and 10 from the 20. Tony Nathan, number 22, also in there. Blitz, down goes Marino at the 11, and it was number 99, Lee Williams. They got him in the supplemental draft. The folks in Florida remember he played at Bethune-Cookman, pass rusher of the first magnitude, this big man.
He certainly is, and they had everybody coming on this play. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, said, you know, we can't sit back and match up with the Dolphin receivers because they're just too good at this point. They wanted to get some pressure, and that pressure came in the form of 99 Williams on that play. 2nd sack for San Diego. Dolphins have one. Reggie Roby to do the punting. Lionel James to receive. James, fair catch at around the 40-yard line. That's quite a punt under a great deal of pressure by Roby. Timeout. 7 minutes to play. First half. Chargers 17, Dolphins 7.
This Bud's for all that you do.
They said this city was through. You said, no way.
Each day the spirit's growing. Your pride is really showing. You make America work, and this Bud's for you.
Here's to you. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste that says Budweiser.
This Bud's for you.
Starting September 1st, American Express is changing the way America shops. There's something special going on in stores across the country. A brand new service from American Express. Announcing Buyer's Assurance. It doubles the repair period of the manufacturer's warranty. Doubles it up to an extra year. All you have to do is use the American Express card. Any place in the country till the end of the year. Now, why would you shop with anything else?
Aha, there's a thief in this attic. This skimpy amount of insulation can rob you blind on your fuel bill.
Fight back with the attic blanket from Owens Corning. It's the thickest, most powerful roll of pink insulation you can add. It can help you save money on your fuel bill.
It is an open and shut case.
Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
Folks here, of course, are looking forward to Super Bowl 22. January 31st of '88. It'll be played right here. They've made some additions to this stadium. Seats over 60,000 now. San Diego leading 17-7. Second quarter.
Billy Ray Smith. He is the guy that they are looking forward to really mixing it up for the rest of the year and for quite a career. He's just a youngster and a good one.
Anderson cuts it back in, gets to midfield, close to the first down. At the 49, John Offerdahl, number 56, makes the tackle. Reminder to our viewers, we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player in today's game. At the conclusion of the action, Raiders now 19-7 over the Denver Broncos. Jets and Buffalo tied at 7. San Diego leading here 17-7. New England leads 10-3 over Indianapolis. Cincinnati and Kansas City tied up, and nobody's been able to score yet. Pittsburgh at Seattle. Give right up the middle to Tim Spencer. Spencer near the 45-yard line. Offerdahl 56 and Jerome Foster 78 on the stop.
Offerdahl is someone we have not spoken about thus far. Jay, he's a linebacker the Dolphins have been looking for maybe since Nick Buoniconti left about 10 years ago or so. Tough linebacker, smart. He's calling signals. There you see him accepting them from the sideline and walking to the huddle, and just a rookie.
Very talented, too. He also plays the French horn.
When he's that big, Jay, he can play any instrument he wants.
I couldn't agree more. Anderson, 7 carries, 40 yards. And this is Anderson coming in motion, and they give it to Buford McGee. McGee in on that dirt infield of the baseball diamond. Hugh Green, 55 on the tackle, right at about the 40-yard line. 5.5 minutes to play in the first half. In the 4 prior possessions, San Diego scored to make it 7-0. They got the field goal, then they scored again, and then they punted, so they've done very well. Buford McGee, 12 yards on 4 carries this afternoon. Wes Chandler goes wide to the right. Mac Moore 91 and Betters 75 at the ends now. Baumhauer playing the nose, 73 for Miami. Bounce goes long, nobody there. Wes Chandler was down the right side. Langford had the coverage down there, but the pass way overthrown.
Well, that was just a double coverage. I think Fouts may have just let it fly to get it away from the double coverage you saw downfield. That's what a veteran does for you. Not going to throw into double coverage very often, although, as we said earlier, he has done it twice today, uncharacteristically.
Fouts has thrown an average of 46 passes a game in the 4 games of the 80s against the Dolphins. In total, 184 passes, which he completed 110 for 60%, chalked up 1,230 passing yards in the 4 games. Got a man. It's complete. Holohan at the 7. Bud Brown made the stop. There is the 6-year veteran from Notre Dame. Holohan, a quarterback in high school. Number 7 draft pick back in '81.
He's fired up. So is Fouts. You can tell, Jay, back what we were talking about before. They're trying to get all the traffic going in the same direction for the Dolphins secondary, trying to confuse them. Here you see a couple of people getting confused, and number 88, Pete Holohan, going downfield, getting behind all of that traffic and making the catch. The Dolphins secondary is going to have to adjust, play a little bit more zone and a little less man-to-man. They're going to be successful this afternoon.
Spencer and McGee in the backfield. This is McGee. McGee gets down to the 4-yard line. Hugh Green, 55. Initial charge for the Dolphins with Baumhauer, 73 in under there. Clock running with 4.5 to go. The Chargers already lead 17-7 and are trying to get more. Anderson and McGee now in the backfield. Anderson wears number 40. McGee number 21. Fouts, who played at Oregon, number 3 draft choice, back in 73. Second down and goal to go. Anderson going motion right, pitch back to McGee. McGee makes a big move and scores! Left to play in the first half. McGee 18 yards on 6 carries and the touchdown. Benershka with Mojenko holding. It's blocked. I mentioned that Benershka's had a little trouble that time. He didn't get it high enough, quick enough. The score 23-7. The Chargers lead the Dolphins.
You might be able to make it on your old antifreeze another year, but then again, you just might find yourself left out in the cold. Driving just 10,000 miles on weak, neglected antifreeze can cause freeze-up and make a radiator look this bad, while the Prestone radiator looks this good. So, for maximum protection, don't push your luck. Change it once a year, every year, with fresh Prestone.
When you need tools, any kind of tools, for every kind of job, one place and one name give you more good choices than anywhere else. Sears and Craftsman.
There's more for your life at Sears.
Life is full of changes, and State Farm is there.
I'm State Farm Agent George Palmy. If your family's like mine, you'll find reminders of how fast things change. Wasn't so long ago, my daughter Jill was riding in this. Now she drives this. Look around you. If you see your insurance needs have changed, auto, home, life or health, see your State Farm agent for a family insurance checkup. The advice is free.
And like a good neighbor,
and the decisions are yours.
State Farm is there.
Miami Vice. San Diego 23, Miami 7. And we have 4:02 left to play. Chargers have scored on 4 of their 5 possessions. A couple of turnovers have been very helpful for San Diego. Number 2 there, set to put the ball in play. It's Mojenko this time. He's going to do the kicking off. Carter and Hampton are back. Lorenzo Hampton out across the 10. 15, outside at the 20, and steps out of bounds at the 25-yard line. To show you some fine footwork coming up on that touchdown a moment ago.
Coaches tell defensive backs to just watch the numbers of a running back because he can't move the numbers. Stare him right in the chest. He can move his head and his hips. Well, I think he moved his number that time with number 44, Paul Langford, because McGee went by him as if Langford was just standing still and not looking straight at his chest.
Total yardage to this point, 257 yards for the Chargers, 105 yards for Miami. Both teams have 3 timeouts remaining here in the first half. It's 1st and 10 to go at the 25-yard line for the Dolphins. Matt Moore, 89, with Duper, 85, and Clayton, 83 are in the lineup. And Marino throws, and it's a beautiful catch by Duper. Duper getting out to the 40-yard line. Davis and Bird, 20 and 22, making the play. Denver's come back to get within 5 of the Raiders in the second period. No change in that Jets-Buffalo score. San Diego leading at 23-7 here now. New England leading 10-3. Kansas City tied up with Cincinnati, and Seattle scored first, 6-0 against the Steelers second period. Hampton and Moore both set to the right side. Clayton and Duper.
Marino once again changing the play at the line of scrimmage.
And operating now out of the gun. Marino throws back into the middle to the tight end, Hardy. Hardy gets to the 49-yard line of the Chargers. Wayne Davis making the play. And Billy Ray Smith was coming that time on a blitz, but he got caught inside as Marino moved to the right. Coming up at halftime, Bob Costas, our NFL 86 crew, will bring you up to date on the happenings on this first Sunday of the 86 season. Or actually, it's the 87th season.
No, it's the 67th
season.
In 1986.
That's right. Get all those digits mixed up. Over the middle, it is complete to Clayton. Clayton going, gone.
Mark Clayton showing the speed once again. Second time this afternoon. He's threaded the defense of the Chargers. And I'll tell you, once he gets his hand on the football, he's as fast as Mark Duper or anybody else.
Looks like he beat Wyatt again.
He's been beating Wyatt all afternoon. Number 30, Kevin Wyatt, for the Chargers. We said earlier he was a draft choice of the Dolphins. And he must be happy to see him lining up over there.
Well, he put on the afterburner, didn't he?
Well, he has a great deal of ability in a lot of ways. Marino likes Clayton for a number of reasons. One, he has great leaping ability. Two, he's got superior speed. Add them all together, and you have an all-pro wide receiver.
Quad Reves. Don Strock holding. The point after is good. Clayton, 3 catches, 111 yards. He has both touchdowns. 23-14. Chargers lead.
America, this is the big one from General Motors. The big one with 2.9 annual percentage rate GMAC financing. That's 2.9 on all new 1986 GM cars and most light-duty trucks. Length of finance contract is limited, or choose rebates up to $1,500 depending on make or model. We're out to move over 1 million vehicles. Act now. The big one from General Motors ends October 8th. This is the one you've been waiting for.
Hey, Pete. Going to town with us? Ah, go ahead. Think you had a little trouble. Ah, we can take care of it.
A day off is something real special, but so's a good neighbor.
Going into town with us, Pete?
Bush. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Bush.
Head for Bush beer. Head for the mountains.
To know no boundaries, to let yourself run free. To know no boundaries is what the world should be.
Wherever there are investment opportunities, Merrill Lynch is there with the help you need to make the most of them. Because at Merrill Lynch, we believe your world should know no boundaries.
To know no boundaries.
Giving your best effort every time is the mark of a true champion. Don't let anything stop you from becoming the best that you can be. Say no to drugs and yes to a whole lot more.
Here's a scoring play once again. A 3-step drop, quick pattern. It's the same one the Dolphins have used all afternoon. It's only designed to go about 4 or 5 plays, Jay, but Clayton takes it, turns into a 49-yard touchdown. And already, 3 catches, 111 yards, more than most receivers do in an entire afternoon.
Well, he's a very special receiver. Set to put it in play, Quad Reves. Quad has had some thigh muscle problems during the preseason. Lionel James, 26, Buford McGee, 21, set to receive. San Diego has won 6 of 7 opening games under Don Coryell. And James going to down it. San Diego will start from the 20-yard line with 2:12 left in the first half. Fouts trots back onto the turf here. Fouts and Marino both have had their share of leg problems. Of course, this is Fouts' 14th season, and this is Marino's 4th.
It usually takes, they say, about 5 years for a quarterback to develop in the NFL. Marino's done it just in his 4th season. He's far beyond any timetable anyone could set for an NFL quarterback.
Yeah, he didn't really develop. It was that instant print with him. Lionel Little Train James, they try to run. He got maybe a yard on the play. Jerome Foster, 78, the nose man, making the play. 2-minute warning here at Jack Murphy Stadium. First half, 23-14 Chargers.
Feel the power, feel the heat. A kick of energy from good whole wheat. Name is Wheaties, not too sweet. A big bad hit of good whole wheat. Hello milk, turn it on. Wheaties keeps you keeping on. Fulfilled all out good whole wheat. Now go tell your mama what the big boys eat.
Gentlemen, start your engines.
This year, as in years past, the United States Auto Club conducted a nationwide study to determine which leading car rental company has the best conditioned cars. Hundreds of cars were tested. Over 36,000 individual items were inspected, from brakes to ashtrays. And for the 4th time, National Car Rental beat Hertz, Avis, and Budget, hands down. National Car Rental, #1 in car condition.
Sometimes a simple river crossing isn't so simple. And when you've got him back, it's your turn. Push. Head for the beer brewed natural as a mountain stream, for a taste as smooth as its name. Push. Head for the stream. Head for the mountains.
Don Coryell, an institution here in San Diego. Only coach ever to win 100 or more games in college football and in professional football. And across from him, a man who's certainly an institution in the National Football League, Don Shula. Influenced much by Paul Brown, who is 79 years old today. Second down and 9. Fouts straight back, in trouble, throws, and what a catch by Anderson. Anderson just cleared Bud Brown in time to make that catch, and Fouts waited till the last possible instant to let it go.
Well, now Anderson, number 40, he's got another year under his belt here in the offense. He understands it more. And I think Fouts has more confidence in Anderson. That's why you're going to see him touch the ball many times this afternoon.
Fouts is now 12 out of 19. Make that 13 out of 20. Wes Chandler took it in. Was belted hard at midfield by Oferdahl, number 56. Chandler getting up slowly as the timeout is called by San Diego. 1:26 left to play. First half.
Dodge salutes those who strive for victory with this edition of The Winners.
He's a complete football player. He can do it all. He's the best linebacker in the National Football League, and I don't think there's any question about it.
In Chicago, the glue that holds the Bears' defense together is linebacker Mike Singletary. In 1985, he saved his best for the playoffs as the Bears topped 2 straight shutouts with a Super Bowl win. Mike Singletary makes the Chicago Bears winners.
In the beginning of recorded history, man had an idea called a caravan. Slow and plodding, but right for its time. Some years later, man had a better idea. Dodge Caravan. Efficient, versatile, and perfect for its time. With front-wheel drive and a 550 protection plan. Which is why Dodge Caravan has no equal in the civilized world. Dodge, setting new standards of performance.
With Jimmy Cefalo, Jay Randolph at San Diego Jack Murphy Stadium. Opening day of this 86 season, and the Chargers leading 23 to 14. James and Anderson in the backfield. Kellen Winslow, the tight end, number 80. Chandler, 89, and Joyner, 18, the wide receivers. This might be the wildest series of the 80s. For that matter, the entire NFL over the years, Jimmy. They played 4 times, these two teams, in this decade. 3 of the games have gone into overtime. Those were all won by San Diego.
And the last time played here, 1984, broke the 11-0 record of the Miami Dolphins, the Chargers did. Raiders up on top, 22-14 over Denver.
And the Jets leading Buffalo there. New England 10-3 over Indianapolis in the second period. Over the middle, and the catch made by Kellen Winslow. Winslow has a first down. Bud Brown and Paul Langford, the two safeties, 43 and 44, converge to make the play. No huddle. Fouts yells out the call. Lionel James set out on the wing right. Fouts looks to James, comes back the other way, incomplete at the 26-yard line. Intended for Wes Chandler. And the man that had the coverage out there, Judson, had fallen down. Fouts gets up out of the dirt here.
Hugh Green put the Dolphin emblem on his chest. He'll probably be there until next Thursday.
Joyner's caught 2 for 27. Johnson 1 for 20. Chandler 3 for 46. Anderson 3 for 36 and a touchdown. Holohan 2 for 47 and James 2 for 10.
Fouts is a popular quarterback today. He's spraying the ball around.
Yes, sir. He's giving everybody a little action. Going wide to the right is Chandler, 89. Second down and 10. A minute to play. First half. Chargers 23-14. Joyner in motion. Bounce over the middle to Winslow. Winslow all the way down to the 23-yard line. That is vintage Kellen Winslow there. Bud Brown, 43, making the stop. Timeout called, and that will leave the Chargers with 1 timeout remaining. These Chargers won divisional titles in 79 and 80 and 81. They're kind of the Blue Angels of professional football.
They're the Blue Angels of the Air Coryell because they can throw the football up in the air. I'll tell you, they started this drive with 2 minutes and 12 seconds to go. And right now, they've got, let's see, 50-some seconds left? 53 seconds left to go. And it just seems like it went so quickly. He has the ability, Fouts does, to move the ball downfield. He utilized some timeouts a couple of times. People got out of bounds for him. But he is a general on the field. Moves the ball very quickly.
Fouts holds 34 club records. Don Shula, the best winning percentage among the active coaches in the National Football League. 6 Super Bowl teams, 2 World Championship teams. Fouts now for Don Coryell, 214 yards, 15 of 23 and a touchdown. Don David Coryell, born in Seattle, his 9th year with the Chargers, might retire, loves to work with people. Certainly one of the top coaches of all time in professional football. A very sincere and wonderful man. Quite misunderstood sometimes by folks.
Well, that's why the players respect him so much. He cares about the players and about the game. A very popular man with the Chargers.
First and 10 at the 23-yard line. Fouts can't get it away. It was Hugh Green. Green, who won the Lombardi Trophy his senior year at Pittsburgh. Came over from Tampa Bay in the big deal and has just continued to improve and improve as a fine man on defense for the Dolphins.
Well, he goes right over the top of Lionel James. Watch him, number 55. Looks like WrestleMania out there. But this time it's number 55 who makes the play.
Fouts trying to throw again. And the Dolphins led that time by Doug Betters coming in to break up the play. 39 seconds remaining in the first half. Chargers leading 23-14. And this is going to bring up 3rd down, 17. Fouts would like to get the touchdown, of course, but he'd like to also have an opportunity for Benershka on 3rd down situations. San Diego's 4 out of 7 here in the first half. Over the middle, that is Wes Chandler, and he gets out of bounds at the 19-yard line. The 9-year veteran knew exactly what to do with that football. Langford chased him out. 31 seconds left to go, and here comes the field goal kicking unit on.
Chandler knew he was going to get out of bounds to save the clock just in case they needed it. They do have one more timeout remaining. And in that situation, with a timeout left, maybe Chandler should have been stayed in bounds, get tackled, let that clock run down, take the timeout, kick the field goal, and not give the Dolphins an opportunity to come back, because with Marino, they have the ability to do it.
Benershka will be kicking off the dirt-slickened infield here. He's just coming off a blocked extra point. As we mentioned, Benershka did not have a good preseason. 36-yarder, it's good. Rolf Benershka. Benershka missed the final 15 games of 85 because of a groin injury. Holds 15 club records, has a degree in zoology, and you know, something that maybe doesn't get much play is his kicks for critters. He's raised over $900,000 in the San Diego community, working for help for the endangered species animals of the world. And his dad, of course, is a very brilliant gentleman and works here at the San Diego Zoo, world famous. Benershka trying to battle back from terrible disorders in his stomach. He nearly died a few years ago.
And raises quite a bit of money for the Ileitis and Colitis Foundation as well. He's a fine young man who's well known in the community because of the charity work that he does. Somebody who actually puts a great deal back into the community where he earns a living, as many football players do today.
26-14, the Chargers. 28 seconds left, first half. Dolphins have 3 timeouts remaining. Benershka puts it in play. The low kick, bobbled. That's Hardy, the tight end, getting it back to the 33-yard line, and 22 seconds left on the clock. That's time to do a little damage.
It certainly is. With 3 timeouts, they're not going to run the football here. They're going to go for it, especially down 26-14. They've got a lot of time to throw the football in the air.
The 33-yard line. The Chargers going into their prevent defense. They've got Kevin Wyatt back in there again, along with the rookie Donald Brown. Marino, best record during his first 3 years of any quarterback in the National Football League's history. He's operating out of that shotgun. He's trying to get Nathan placed where he wants him back there. Hands it off to Nathan, breaks it up over the 40. And to the 47-yard line and the first down. A little handoff out of the shotgun. Davis 20 and Billy Ray Smith 54 on the tackle, and timeout with 16 seconds left.
And Marino changed that play at the line of scrimmage. He saw a gap in the Charger defensive front 7 and was trying to make up his mind whether he wanted to give it to Nathan on the left or the right. He made the right choice that time.
Recap the scoring for you. We've had lots of it. Anderson from Fouts. 2:09 played in the first. Then Benershka kicked the 26-yard field goal. Spencer scored from 17 out to make it 17-0. Mentioned a few years ago in that game, you'll remember San Diego was out to a 24-0 lead, I believe.
Right. It's been called the most exciting game ever in the National Football League. 24-0 in the first half. The Dolphins came back, tied it up. And, of course, Ralph Benershka won it for San Diego in overtime, 41-38.
Miami got on the board here with Clayton going 23 yards on a Marino pass in a drive that covered 77 yards in 7 plays. Bay's kicking the point, 3:24 left. That made it 17-7. McGee, he scored from 4 yards out. Benershka's extra point block, 23-7. Clayton from Marino to make it 23-14, and then Benershka's 36-yard field goal, and we're at 26-14 right now. 1st and 10 at the 47. And here's Marino, and it's dropped by number 82, James Pruitt. We talked about Pruitt and his fine play in preseason, and Don Shula looks out and says, boy, oh boy, what was that? Why didn't we catch him? Why didn't we make it happen?
Pruitt, the rookie's having a bad weekend, Jay. He missed the play yesterday. He missed his first big catch opportunity. Marino looks back, gives him a little bit of a glare.
Marino's having a good week.
He's having a great week.
New $9 million contract, and highest paid player in the history of the National Football League, and a big new baby.
That's right, to spend that $9 million on.
2nd and 10 at the 47. Marino again out of the shotgun. 10 seconds left. First half. Marino hit as he was trying to throw the football. And the clock shows 2 seconds left. Billy Ray Smith knocked it loose. Lee Williams picked it up. And they say that his arm was not in motion. I tell you, Smith and Williams have been a handful here in the first half for these fired-up Chargers on defense.
Well, Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, said there were going to be a couple of things differently this year. They're going to do things differently. They were going to be more aggressive, and they're going to be quicker. And that's what happens here. Billy Ray Smith has been causing trouble all day long. He's chasing Marino from the backside. It's tough when you're a quarterback and you get chased out of the pocket because all bets are off at that point. You see Billy Smith from the backside knocking the ball away from Marino. All bets are off in the sense that your receivers break their patterns. They're going to run to the sideline, try to give you some help, but he had nowhere to go with the football. Billy Ray stripped it from him.
Bounce with 2 seconds left. Airs it out downfield. Here we go. Incomplete. 2 Chargers among about 6 Dolphins. Shula looks up at the scoreboard. We're at halftime. 26-14 Chargers. This vignette is brought to you by the U.S. Army.
No words could repair this running back's shattered knee.
Please don't give me your words of wisdom or your advice about what I should do or what I shouldn't do.
The Achievers, those who face adversity and refuse to fail. Brought to you by the U.S. Army. When Kurt Warner's knee exploded, many thought he was through. But months of agonizing therapy has Kurt Warner back in all-pro form.
It's not going to be easy. There are going to be days when you're not going to feel like doing it. There are going to be days when you don't want to do it. I decided to work. I think that's the most important thing.
Hey, that was a great answer. Where'd you learn about computers?
In the Army.
You were in the Army?
Yeah.
And now they're helping pay your way through college.
How come you know so much?
How do you think I got here?
Qualify for the GI Bill and the Army College Fund and earn $17,000 for college for only a 2-year enlistment or $25,200 for a 4-year enlistment.
What you doing here?
Airborne.
You were airborne?
Find your future in the Army.
You used to jump out of airplanes?
You're looking at the fastest-selling European import in its introductory year. You're looking at a car with performance features like front-wheel drive and rack and pinion steering. You're looking at a car that's comfortable and fun to drive. You're looking at a car that costs $39.90. You're looking at a Yugo. For a closer look, call 1-800-USA-YUGO for the dealer nearest you. Yugo, $39.90.
Back here in San Diego, Jimmy Cefalo and Jay Randolph. San Diego leading, and we'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Ricardo and Bully were getting on each other's nerves.
The big shot won't listen to anybody. He knows who the unknown soldier is. Oh, yeah. Go ahead, tell her.
But now that they moved to Beverly Hills, things will be looking up.
They're having fun now.
Easy Street follows the Golden Girls.
Yesterday we argued over soda crackers. Today we got a state problem.
Premiering September 13th.
If you thought convenience was the only reason to open a personal checking account at B of A, think again.
The new reason is service. Our checking service is now so good that if you're not satisfied, we'll refund up to 6 months regular service charges.
No other California bank has a money-back guarantee like this. So if you want service so good it's guaranteed, check out B of A. We want the job.
Bank of America. We want the job.
When you want parts for your car, don't settle for good enough.
Make max for the max. Crank it.
Get power to spare. Our new Megatorque batteries now start at a low $25.95. Plus, Flag motor oil is now only 69 cents a quart. Automatic transmission fluid is just 89 cents a quart. And don't forget a new Flag oil filter, now just $1.88. For max selection, protection, and savings, you know where to go.
Crank it Auto Parts.
Hi, I'm Al Check. Join us for Sports Wrap after football.
This is a special NFL edition of News Center 39.
Good
Good afternoon. I'm Kathy Clark, live in the News Center. The Soviets now say they will charge American reporter Nicholas Danilov with espionage. That is despite a personal plea for the man's release from President Reagan to Soviet leader Gorbachev. Officials say they don't know when Danilov will be brought to trial. He was arrested, of course, last week after being given a package by a Soviet acquaintance that the Soviets say contained classified material. American officials maintain Danilov was framed, and the White House says the spy charges could have serious implications on superpower relations. The injured Americans from Pan American Flight 73 have now been taken to West Germany for medical treatment. NBC News correspondent Paul Miller has a report.
6 American passengers from Pan Am Flight 73 finally got to Frankfurt early this morning on stretchers. They and several Europeans, all seriously wounded but able to travel, were carefully taken off a C-141 medevac jet. There were no families to meet these American hostages, but the American ambassador to West Germany saw them briefly.
They are very pleased to be in Frankfurt. They are very happy with the medical care they are receiving.
4 Americans were taken by ambulance to the Air Force Hospital in Wiesbaden. 2 others were helicoptered to another military hospital. Wiesbaden has handled many other American hostages who needed help and comfort, but this case is different. These patients are suffering from gunshot and shrapnel wounds.
They have suffered a combination of missile injuries from bullets and shrapnel, as well as injuries incurred while rapidly exiting the aircraft. While several of the injuries are quite serious, all 6 Americans returning on the AirVac aircraft are in stable condition.
The most seriously wounded patient has a bullet wound in the head. Names of the 6 won't be released until their families are told of their conditions. Doctors said they were surprised there weren't more patients in need of evacuation to Germany. Medical data, like other information coming from Karachi, was confusing and incomplete. A special Pan Am flight will bring more than 200 survivors of the hijacking to Frankfurt. They, too, will be offered medical assistance, but many Americans on board the plane have already said they just want to keep going, home to the United States. Paul Miller, NBC News, Frankfurt.
And that plane already has arrived in Frankfurt, West Germany, and it was carrying more than 200 of the passengers who survived the hijacking. The Americans on that flight reportedly will be questioned by the FBI during their stopover. There is no word yet on whether the surviving members of a San Diego family involved in the hijacking is on board that plane. Police in Turkey now say 21 people died in the attack on a synagogue yesterday. 2 Arabs entered the building in Istanbul and began shooting, then killed themselves with hand grenades. The attack on the temple has caused upheaval among the Israeli cabinet. Prime Minister Shimon Peres cut off a meeting with that cabinet amid accusations his peace policy invited the attack. Peres says he will not reconvene the meeting unless the accusations are withdrawn. Firefighters here in San Diego now say that fire in North City West yesterday may have burned as many as 200 acres. The spectacular wildfire raged out of control along Interstate 5 for more than 2 hours yesterday. No homes were damaged. Private property was spared, but the crews were back there this morning after nearby residents said they saw flare-ups.
Earlier this morning, there was a report of some open fire burning near the construction area. So we came over, first thing this morning to check it out, and there's nothing of any significance.
Meanwhile, investigators are still trying to find the driver of a water truck who may have ignited the fire. Witnesses reported that a tailpipe of a silver or gray construction truck was spewing those sparks. What does a Hershey bar and a lottery ticket have in common? Well, if you're talking about the California lottery, the 2 companies are about the same size. Lottery officials say that in 2 years, the budget for the game will reach more than $2 billion. According to Fortune 500, that is almost as big as the Hershey Company. And if you happen to be one of the lucky people who win, just think of all the candy bars you could buy. We'll have more news right after this.
The beauty of patience is its gentle persistence, but the power of patience is anything but passive. For proof, we introduced the new generation of Mitsubishi pickups. This new Mitsubishi is more than just a new truck. Patient crafting has combined a vigorous new shape with the available power of the largest inline 4-cylinder built, which proves that even patience likes to kick up a little dust. Mitsubishi.
To just about no one's surprise, Martina Navratilova has won the women's singles tennis championship again at the U.S. Open. Al Keck, of course, will have a complete wrap-up of the day in sports coming up after the Charger game. You'll want to stay tuned for Sports Wrap right after the game. And then Carlos Amezcua and I will be back at 5 o'clock for that edition of News Center 39. Mayor Maureen O'Connor is taking some local concerns to Washington this week. We will tell you about her latest trip. And police in Encinitas are going to extraordinary lengths to enforce the new dog leash law. They're actually putting people in jail. And of course, the Charger fans are ecstatic with today's game so far. John Britton will tell us all about the tailgating out there. Join us for that and a lot more at 5 o'clock. But now let us go back to NBC sports coverage and, of course, the rest of the Charger game.
Your local station.
Chicago of the 60s. This fall comes a television show that reaches deep down inside to your heart. It's called Crime Story.
Almost 16, have to room with a child? Kleenex chest.
Starring Wilfred Brimley and Deidre Hall. 3 generations living and growing together. Our House. Come home to Our House, Sundays at 7 on 39 Alive.
Those with taste discrimination will tell you the new sensation is eggs. They know anything goes. At break of day beside the bay, on holidays and small cafes, anything goes. Quiet nights of cozy dining are perfect with eggs and candles and wine and anything goes.
Anything goes with California fresh eggs.
Al Janus with Weekend Sports at 5 and 11.
.21 L.A. at halftime. It was 19-7 L.A. at one point. Then the Broncos rallied, including this bit of razzle-dazzle. Steve Sewell to John Elway, the quarterback, for a 23-yard TD. The Broncos are within 1 at halftime. In the game many of you are watching, the Jets lead Buffalo 14-10. And here's the difference in the game. With the score tied at 7-7, Ken O'Brien will go deep to Al Toon, the second-year wide receiver, and the 46-yard touchdown gives them a 14-7 lead. Eventually, a Scott Norwood field goal narrows that to 14-10, which is where they stand now. San Diego and Miami, they've reached halftime at San Diego. The Chargers led 17-0 at one point in that game. Marino has thrown for 2. Fouts has thrown for 2, including this one in the first quarter. Watch the move by Gary Anderson. Unbelievable. Up and over. One of the most spectacular plays of the day. It's 26-14 San Diego at the half over the Dolphins. Also halftime at Foxborough. The Patriots lead the Colts 10-3. They go to the third at Arrowhead. Kansas City and Cincinnati tied at 7. Halftime at the Kingdome, Seattle with a 6-0 lead over Pittsburgh. Earlier today, Chicago held off the Cleveland Browns 41-31. Walter Payton had 113 yards and a couple of touchdowns, and we saw the first ever regular season use of the instant replay rule. The officials are checking with the replay guy upstairs. Why? Because the Jay Hilgenberg snap on the third play from scrimmage in the game eluded Jim McMahon. The ball eventually squirts to the back of the end zone. Al Gross of Cleveland recovers, and the replay official confirms that, yes, he had possession before he went out of the end zone. It stands up for a Cleveland touchdown, but the Bears go on to win it 41-31. Buddy Ryan is gone from Chicago. He's the head coach in Philadelphia, and today the Eagles allowed the most points they have ever allowed in a game since 1975, clobbered by Washington 41-14, 2 TDs for Redskin newcomer Kelvin Bryant. The Rams, with Eric Dickerson rushing for 193, beat the Cardinals 16-10. Time ran out on St. Louis with the ball at the 1-yard line. They were unable to get off. Another play, they had no timeouts left. Houston wallops Green Bay 31-3. Warren Warren Moon throws for 2 and runs for another. Detroit over Minnesota 13-10. James Jones 174 yards on the ground for the Lions. San Francisco intercepts Steve DeBerg 7 times. They romp at Tampa Bay 31-7. And Atlanta beats New Orleans 31-10, spoiling Jim Mora's head coaching debut. William Andrews returns for the Falcons. Inauspicious, but he's back. Carries 5 times for 28. Earlier today, Martina Navratilova wins the women's title at the U.S. Open, and Lendl took the first set 6-4 from Machir in the men's final. And we'll be back with more on NFL 86 in a minute.
And wide open is Cephalo at the 50. Could go all the way. 40, 25, 15, and Miami has a touchdown.
Jimmy Cephalo, Super Bowl 17, now doing NBC Sunrise and working football, and we're in San Diego, Charlie Jones's hometown. You'll be working with Charlie for the most part this year. He's away for a couple of weeks doing track and field, but we're happy to have you alongside this season to analyze the play.
Well, thank you. It's good to be here. Good to be working with you, Jay, once again. We had a game together last year, and Charlie will be back from Italy in a couple of weeks, and we'll get together for a while.
Yeah, I look forward, of course, to the second half of this game. One item that we saw in the first half, and you haven't seen it happen too often because they've been the best team in the last 3 years in preventing their quarterback from being sacked. Miami did let Marino go down a couple of times in this game.
Well, they've had a lot of problems with their offensive line thus far, and Coach Don Shula has tried to put a patchwork line together. They've had so many injuries, though. Giesler and Taze and Newman and Steve Clark and Dennard, all of these people they expected to be performing for them here in the opener, but they do not have them as they take on the San Diego Chargers. So it's been an off-season thus far that the Dolphins have had to put together an offensive line that they're not completely comfortable right now, and Dan Marino showed some concern about that coming into today's game.
And Don Shula, a year ago, had a tremendous amount of turmoil in preseason with so many people that didn't sign. Doug Benners finally came back home this past week. But really, there was not near the turmoil that he had in preseason this year. Right. And, of course, he took his team into the playoffs one more time a year ago.
He always seems to do it. He has 8 different starters today than he did opening day a year ago, and that, of course, is because of all the holdouts a year ago. Bob Brzezinski was not there, and a number of other players. And it caused some discontent among the Dolphins. They went out and were beaten in their opener, wasn't their home opener, excuse me, against the Oilers last year. Don Shula does not have a good record as far as opening days are concerned, oddly enough.
No, and Don Coryell does. Over the years, Coryell's teams, that man right there, he's 10-2 on opening day. We're just about set to go to the second half here. 26-14, the Chargers, and they're some of this big crowd taking a look. And Jimmy, there are the stats. Early on, Chargers really dominating.
Yeah, they are. 337 total yards already in just one half of play, Jay. That's a remarkable statistic, and the Dolphins have to be concerned that their defense is not doing the job. We mentioned earlier 8 people different last year than today, but those young people are not doing the job.
That is Lorenzo Hampton downing the ball. And it will come out to the 20-yard line. Let's go back to the first touchdown of the game. Fouts throwing, Anderson catching, and then Anderson launching himself into the end zone.
This is how you can tell you have a special person playing for you. There aren't very many people who will do that, regardless if they have the ability or not. Number 40, Gary Anderson, shows he wants to be a football player in San Diego here, and he will be a good football player for a very long time.
First down, Dolphins. Danny Marino going to put it up right off the bat. And it is complete to the far sideline. That's Mark Duper with the first down. Fred Robinson, the right outside linebacker, had the coverage. Duper, who played at Northwest Louisiana State. Early season injuries last year. And there's the quickest 100 touchdowns. And you see, this is Marino's 44th game today. Unitas, it took him 53 to throw 100. Marino on target.
By the end of their careers, it's very possible that the 2 quarterbacks on the field today may hold virtually every passing record in the NFL.
Nat Moore going in motion. A handoff goes to Ron Davenport. Boy, Davenport can't do any business. Leslie O'Neal, the rookie from Oklahoma State. He did an excellent job. O'Neal, 6'4", 255 pounds. He had 3 sacks in the last preseason game against St. Louis.
And that's why he was drafted by the Chargers. They wanted that quick upfield kind of guy, get to the quarterback. But he showed them that he can play the run very well, and he did it on that play, stopping Ron Davenport.
2nd down and 10. Bouts, or I should say Marino, with lots of time. That time trying to get it to Nat Moore. And Moore at the 45-yard line, covered by Jeffrey Dale, number 37, a second-year man at strong safety. Dale played at LSU. He started at free safety in '85, was on the all-rookie team. He's a real hitter, this fella.
He and Bird, number 22 for the Chargers, switched positions this year. They were playing free safety and strong safety. Now they've swapped spots for this season. And their secondary has done a very good job this scoring.
Duper and Moore, Clayton and Pruitt, all in there now on 3rd and 10 for Miami. Out of the shotgun. Marino, incomplete at midfield. Trying to go to Nat Moore. Billy Ray Smith, the linebacker, 54, had the coverage. Reggie Roby will come on. Well, the Raiders' lead is only 1 at halftime. The Jets are up by 4 in the 3rd period. San Diego leading here 26-14. New England over Indianapolis. Cincinnati and Kansas City tied in the 3rd, and Seattle still up 6-0 in the 3rd period against Pittsburgh. Reggie Roby to do the punting, and Lionel James back to receive. This is a low spiral. Should be a chance for a return, and James is dumped as he got to the 29-yard line. Looked for a moment like he might get more out of it. Shula coming downfield is really on the line, Judge, about something. Number 90, Andy Hendel, the linebacker, making the play. 26-14 Chargers. Timeout here in the 3rd quarter.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now, get 2.9% financing or cash back on the purchase of most new Ford cars and trucks. Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger, $1,000 cash back on Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, and up to $600 on Tempos. 2.9% or cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too. That's 2.9% financing or cash back. See your Ford dealer today.
Welcome to the Silver Bullet, home of a cold Coors Light.
Rob, do you work out?
Yeah, I belong to a club. Here's your Coors Light.
Yeah, I'm thinking about joining a club, but can't seem to find a good enough reason. I mean, is a flat stomach a good enough reason?
Nope.
Building up my endurance?
Nope.
Big muscles?
No.
See the club, Rob?
Yeah.
Oh. What's the name of that club?
No slowing down with the Silver Bullet tonight.
This is it. The moment they find out if their car's got what it takes. They've done everything they could. Which is why 2 out of 3 Indy 500 drivers rely on STP oil treatment. Because when it comes right down to it, STP adds extra lubrication to reduce engine wear in whatever you drive.
STP is the racer's edge.
Today's game is brought to you by Ford and your local Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? Buy Stroh's and Stroh Light. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is spoken here. And by IBM and the growing family of IBM personal computers.
First down for the Chargers from their own 29-yard line. Buford McGee getting a couple as he fought his way across the 30-yard line. George Little, number 99. John Overdahl, 56 on the stop.
Don Trule's working the sideline, that's for certain. He had a little bit of a conversation with an official a few minutes ago. Probably went something like this. But, Mr. Official, don't you believe that my man was pulled down from behind? I don't think it's something that we would rate G in the rating system of our theaters across the country.
Second down and 6 at the 33-yard line. Joyner coming in motion. Fouts, a lot of time, throws, and complete. That's Wes Chandler. Chandler making the catch, going out of bounds at the 46. Don McNeil, 28th, the quarter man there with him. Frustrated, Don Shula at the moment, but he's been behind before. He's a patient man and one of the most knowledgeable ever to coach. These Chargers are some kind of offensive power. Ernie Zampese, the offensive coordinator, calls the signals for this really breathtaking offense.
It is breathtaking. And sometimes they just do things that no one has ever attempted before, but they've got the personnel to make it work.
This is Anderson coming to the near side. The give goes to the little train. And he's across midfield. Tough little man he is. Bud Brown, 43, and Paul Langford, 44, making the stop.
James and number 40, Gary Anderson, are the same type of players. They both have that ability to run tough inside, to catch the football downfield. And this season, James and Anderson are going to be used in that same kind of a capacity. And I would imagine James's production is going to drop a little bit because Anderson is a year older. He's got the offense down, and he's the player they want to go to. At least they showed that today.
James with 18 yards now, and this is Spencer. Spencer looks like he's got the first down as there's some shoving and pushing going on. Jackie Shipp, 50. Bob Baumhauer, 73. Hugh Green, 55. Our referee, Dick Jorgensen, says first down. We have 12:44 to play in the third quarter. Chargers lead at 26-14. Winningest active coach in the National Football League, Don Shula. 17th season now at Miami. Dolphins will be playing in their new Dolphins Stadium next year. There's Don Coryell. He might be retired for this time next year, but he's got high hopes right now. Out to Anderson. Anderson bumped down by Jackie Shipp, former #1 draft pick. Stop made at the 37-yard line.
You mentioned earlier that Gary Anderson reminds you of Gale Sayers in a little way. He does have that slashing ability, and he's not afraid to leap over someone on the goal line, as we saw earlier. You're absolutely right. Now that you say it, he does remind me of Sayers as well.
42 yards, 4 carries. Don Coryell, his 9th year with the Chargers, had 5 years at St. Louis. Former paratrooper in World War II. Fouts giving it up the middle to Anderson. Anderson's got a first down. The ball was dead. It came out after he hit the ground at the 31-yard line. Brzezinski there to make the stop, 59, with Langford 44. Another San Diego first down.
Straight up, we've got lots of running. There you see number 50, Jackie Shipp, being run over. And who is it but number 43, Mr. Spencer? Don Coryell calls him the best running back he's ever coached, which is...
That's right. I would certainly have to agree that he's a fellow who's really underrated. Spencer played at Ohio State. Great blocker. Bounce gets it out to Anderson. Anderson steps out of bounds at the 24-yard line after he just danced his way past a couple of Dolphins. It was Hugh Green that ran him out.
And it was number 45, William Judson, who ran himself into the ground trying to grab a hold of some jersey of Gary Anderson.
I tell you, you'd have to go to a disco to see moves like this. Look at this action.
You can't teach this to anybody. That is something that's born. That's an instinct, and it's beautiful to watch.
It certainly is, and this is an offensive show, and San Diego running the ball too, Jim, we should mention, very, very well in this drive. Tremaine Johnson's in the game. They go to Lionel James on the pitch, cuts the corner, and is all the way down to the 9-yard line. Bud Brown and Langford, the two safeties, again having to come over and run him out.
And once again, it was Tim Spencer that cleaned the entire right side of the Dolphin defense. Watch him in your screen. Number 43, he's leading James around the corner. Watch the block he throws. McNeil goes down. Number 50, Jackie Shipp goes down. Gives you Lionel James the time. Give him some time to run. Get you some yards. Give Spencer the credit for that, though.
At the 9-yard line, 1st and goal to go. Chargers lead at 26-14. 10-17 to play in the third quarter. Spencer, Anderson, and McGee all in the backfield now. And the pitch back comes to Anderson. Anderson down to the 7-yard line. And Bob Baumhauer, 73, the noseman, there to make the play. Those of you just joining us, our 10-minute ticker, we'll update those earlier games. Chicago beat Cleveland, Washington over Philadelphia. The Rams get by St. Louis. Houston bangs Green Bay, and Detroit over Minnesota by 3. San Francisco beat Tampa Bay, Atlanta over New Orleans. Second and goal from the 7. Bounce has trouble handling the ball, but throws over the middle. Touchdown, Wes Chandler. Some quarterbacks might have got flustered because of the problem on the exchange. Bounce handled it, waited, finds Chandler, 7-yard touchdown.
Sid Gilman once called Dan Fouts the Michelangelo of quarterbacks. And he paints a picture here. Look at this. You're absolutely right, Jay. Some quarterbacks will get flustered by it. He's got all the time in the world, takes his time, finds Wes Chandler for the score. What a remarkable quarterback.
Wes Chandler beating Langford on the play. Benershka had one blocked earlier. Puts this one through. 9:22 left in the third quarter. Chargers have 33. The Dolphins 14. Back with more in a moment.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now, get 2.9% financing or cash back on the purchase of most new Ford cars and trucks. Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger, $1,000 cash back on Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, and up to $600 on Tempos. 2.9% or cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too. That's 2.9% financing or cash back. See your Ford dealer today.
Rise and shine, catch the line, catch the limit here. Now you're talking fishing, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here.
Stroh's, fire brewed for smooth, consistent taste.
Now you're talking Stroh's, now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times, and Stroh's is smoking here. I feel good.
Time to go, boys. You've been in there long enough.
Hey, we're not even tired. I feel good.
So I've checked the mileage, Andy.
Hey, we're the auto line. We're guaranteed.
Guaranteed?
I feel good. Yeah, 2 years no matter how far we go.
But no spark plug guarantees that.
We do. Yeah, we're the auto line.
But
So go pull the plug on somebody else.
Okay.
An American tradition continues. In 1978, it was dubbed the modern-day shot heard round the world. Bucky Dent's 3-run homer helped clinch one of baseball's greatest comeback seasons. Next Saturday, the intense rivalry continues as the Yankees host the Red Sox or the Reds meet the Dodgers. The tradition is here. The memories are waiting.
Further look from the ticker. The Raiders leading. As you saw those other scores, and we'll go back to that as we have the kickoff coming to Carter. Carter's out over the 10, the 15 in the middle, at the 20, and down at the 22-yard line. Leading the way, 55, Gary Nelson, linebacker. Nelson shaken up just a little bit. The rest of these scores, Jets leading by 4, and San Diego leading 33-14 here. New England 17-3 over Indianapolis now. Kansas City up by 7 over Cincinnati, and Seattle leading Pittsburgh. Dan Fouts has done the job. Marino will try to rally the Dolphins. Out it comes to the tight end, Harding. Harding out of bounds at the 28-yard line. Jeffrey Dale, 37 on the play. Shoving over there. Jimmy, the problem right now for the Dolphins, they have 9 minutes left to play in the third quarter. They're down 33-14. They can't fool around running the football very much, and San Diego knows that.
No, they've got to forget the running game completely, and because of that, the Chargers are coming with 5 defensive backs. Probably on second down, they'll go to 6 defensive backs, and that makes it more difficult for Marino to pick holes in the defense.
Second down and about 3 at the 28. A little draw play, and a first down for Lorenzo Hampton. Hampton, who played at Florida. Stop is made by Kevin Wyatt, number 30. Danny Walters, 23. Clock running with 8 minutes and 45 seconds remaining to be played in the third quarter. Chandler caught that last touchdown pass. He is 6 catches on the afternoon for 77 yards. As we look in at Lorenzo Hampton. Marino over the middle to the tight end again, Bruce Hardy, and he is up to the 42-yard line. Using the tight end a good deal this afternoon. Thomas Benson, 57, the right inside linebacker on the stop. Benson, out of Oklahoma, came over here in a trade with Atlanta for a number 6 during training camp. He was originally Atlanta number 2. They've been pleased with him.
Yeah, the knock on Benson out of Atlanta was that he was not picking up the defense very well there, but he's stepped in and started right away for the Chargers. They're very happy.
Second and 5. And the pass complete this time to Johnson, the other tight end who had replaced Hardy. Jeffrey Dale runs him out of bounds. It's a first down, and Don Shula having Marino go to these tight ends with some regularity here in the third quarter.
And for good reason. If you try to attack the Miami Dolphin offense, you're going to say, well, we'll double the wide receivers. We'll double Tony Nathan out of the backfield. The tight end position is the one that will have man-to-man most of the time. The Dolphins are trying to take advantage of that by going to Hardy, who is a good receiver, and on that occasion to Dan Johnson. Excuse me. I want to put him on Miami Vice, don't I?
Johnson injured much of last season. First down at the 44. Not much there. Hampton bumped out of bounds near the 42 by Jeffrey Dale, 37, and Billy Ray Smith, 54.
Billy Ray Smith has been moved from the inside linebacker position he played a year ago to the outside, and he's played it very well. On that occasion, his job is to simply make sure the running back does not get around the corner, and he prevented Hampton from doing so.
He was the highest defensive pick in San Diego history when they took him number 1. Duper, Moore, and Clayton are all in there. Second and 7 at the 41-yard line. Marino from the shotgun. They have audibleized again. Marino throws, complete. That's Nat Moore. The veteran is at the 25 and down to the 23-yard line. Billy Ray Smith, number 54 on the stop. Kevin Wyatt, number 30. He kind of beat Wyatt on the play.
A little bit of pushing between number 53 Douglas and number 13 Dan Marino, of all people. Usually quarterbacks don't get involved in that kind of stuff.
Not a good idea.
Not a good idea. Douglas is a big man. Although Dan Marino is no slouch and he's a tough competitor. He's not going to get pushed around by many people.
Penalty on this play. Marino now having a discussion with Dick Jorgensen, and it's going to go against Miami.
Number 68, offense, still second down.
Greg Cook called for illegal motion.
That's the second time that Cook's been called for that. Again, the Chargers were in a blitzing type of a defense. Cook, although he's a veteran, they panicked a little bit, moved just a second early.
Cook had some conflicts with one of the assistant coaches, Jerry Wampler of the Packers. Fixture at right tackle for Green Bay, but he came over and is now a Dolphin. Second down and 11 at the 46-yard line. Marino rolls out, looks back, throws too high. Pass intended for James Pruitt.
design play the Dolphins put in. They want to get away from the pressure. They have noticed the Chargers are blitzing very much from the inside, and so they simply roll Marino to the outside and try to get him away from all that pressure. Look in the middle of your screen. You see 6 or 7 people all going after the quarterback right in the middle there. Marino goes to the other side, and he's got 82 Pruitt wide open, but overthrows him.
Third down situations on the day. The Dolphins have converted 1 of 4. 10-minute ticker updating you again. Seattle now leading Pittsburgh 13-0. Third and 11. Marino's got his man and a first down. On the move, Mark Clayton. Clayton all the way down to the 26-yard line. Gilbert, 22, ran him out.
Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator of the Chargers, he likes that aggressive type play, but I really don't understand it here, Jay. They're up by 19 points at this juncture in the game. They got a third down situation. You would imagine that with the personnel they have, they could simply zone the field and try to keep whatever receivers catching the ball away from those first down markers, but that gamble did not get to Marino. Allowed Clayton to get the first down.
Miami driving, trying to battle back in this one. Marino again calling an audible at the line of scrimmage. Looking and incomplete. Penalty marker goes down. Davis, number 20, against Mark Duper, 85. Side judge discussing it there with the field judge and referee Dick Jorgensen stepping in.
Number 20, defense, first down.
Interference against Davis, first down.
All right, let's take a closer look at it. Over the top, it seems as if it was a good call. He did make some early contact. They will allow the cornerback to go after the football as long as he does not go through the wide receiver. And there you see number 20, Davis going through Mark Duper, number 85.
First and goal to go at the 6-yard line with 6:50 left to play in the third quarter. Chargers lead at 33-14. Set in the slot to the left side. Bring the tight end back toward the action and throw outside for a touchdown to Nat Moore. Oh, what a beautiful play. Moore set in the slot with the tight end outside of him. He moves back inside and the pass goes back out to Moore for the score.
It's called a pick, Jay. It's usually not legal, but if you do it right, it is. And this is a touchdown. And Nat Moore is the craftiest wide receiver I've ever seen play the game. He knows all the tricks. And Dan Marino asked him to perform one here, and he does. Yes. Inside, you see Nat Moore all by himself. But what you don't see in the screen there is Bruce Hardy, who came inside looking for the ball. He just happened to wipe out a couple of defenders.
The extra point by Fuad Reveiz is good. They beat Walters and Bird for the touchdown. 33-21 Chargers.
Fire brewing. It's more than a way to make Stroh's and Stroh Light. It's a family tradition, passed down from one generation to another for over 200 years. It's what guarantees that smooth, consistent taste for generations to come.
Now you're talking Stroh. Now you're talking beer. Now you're talking good times. And Stroh's is smoking here.
A typical day with the station wagon, except one thing's changed. The station wagon. The new Ford Taurus wagon, with the design and performance that make everyday driving more than an everyday experience.
Now there's an American car that has exactly what we've been looking for. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Sometimes it seems as if your air conditioning bills are going through the roof. But the Owens Corning Attic Blanket will help keep the cool air in, which can save you money in the years ahead and leave you sitting pretty. Owens Corning. We put your house in the pink.
The world's athletes are gathering in Rome. The IAAF Grand Prix Pint. If it's special, it's on NBC Sports.
That's next Saturday at 1 Eastern and 3 Pacific. Charlie Jones will be over there. Edward Moses, Evelyn Ashford. It'll be a tremendous show, and hope you'll join us for that special next Saturday here on NBC. Jay Randolph along with Jimmy Cefalo. Our entire crew headed up this afternoon by Kenneth Roy Edmondson. And this one at 33-21 as the Dolphins have just scored. We have 6:47 left in the third quarter.
And it's everything we expected thus far, Jay. Already a lot of points scored, and I've got the feeling that we're going to have another one of those Dolphin-Charger barn burners.
14th meeting in one of the best series in the AFC, or for that matter, anywhere you want to go. San Diego leading this series 8-5. And 3 of the last 4 games, as we've told you, have gone into overtime. McGee and James set to receive. You see the scoring drive. Claude Reves, who played at Tennessee, 7th-round draft pick, kicks it off. That is James at the 20. 25, scoots down the line, and is out of bounds. Lost the ball just as he went out. It'll be San Diego's ball near the 35-yard line. Andy Hendel made the tackle. San Diego with 393 total yards. Miami now with 273. Ball is going to be placed at the 34-yard line.
And you can look for the Chargers to try to eat up some clock and get that running game going once again.
Pitch back coming to Gary Anderson. Oh, he almost went all the way. He came within a half step of taking it all the way. Bud Brown made the tackle, and a good thing he did. There's Terry Unrein. Cartilage damage. We understand they'll do an arthroscope on him tonight. And Unrein, the rookie from Colorado State, who plays a great deal in the 4-3 scheme when the Chargers have that going, out of action here.
They're not going to waste any time with him, are they?
No. Oh, what a remarkable thing that arthroscope is, isn't it? Here's Anderson. And he got a couple.
Anderson is one of those players where you have to stay at home. If you try to over-pursue, try to get to the sideline to cut him off, he's going to burn you bad, cutting back against the grain. He's got that slashing type ability that can really turn a defense into a problem area for you.
And for the kind of runner he is, he's very durable. You know, he did not miss a game at Tampa in the USFL. He's been working a lot as a wide receiver here. I mean, he can do it all. Here he goes. Right there, you see it. 2nd and 8. Send Joyner in motion to the far sideline. Bounce and over the head of the intended receiver, Wes Chandler. Good coverage that time by William Judson. Anderson, 11 carries, 61 yards, 5 catches, 48 yards, and a touchdown. We talk about all-purpose yardage and the great job Lionel James did. You're going to put Mr. Anderson in that category, I think, too.
Yeah, they're going to put him to work. They may have back-to-back folks who go ahead and break that NFL record for the most total yardage in a season.
3rd and 8. Dolphins in a prevent defense. Bounce in trouble. Steps up, throws outside. Great catch by Anderson. Look at that move. He's got the first down. What a remarkable individual effort. John Offerdahl, 56. Donovan Rose, 26. Finally there, but I mean, is there any way to defense that?
No, he's putting out a show today. You know, what can you possibly say or do to stop this? I mean, this is individual effort. Donovan Rose he still thinks he's in Canada trying to catch somebody. I mean, number 40, Gary Anderson, he is simply right now putting on a show that is probably unforeseen, at least in the NFL today.
He's very special. Pitch back to the little train. James sneaks He fights and gets near the 32-yard line. Doug Betters, number 75, made the play. Betters, who only signed on Tuesday. And he's in there to do some pass rushing, hopefully. Lionel James out of Auburn. Auburn winning yesterday, but without their mascot, War Eagle, for the first time. Guess it proves you can win without a mascot. That's true. I suppose. Second down and 2. Hand off to Lionel James. First down, fumble. Pile up at the 21-yard line. San Diego football. Lyle Blackwood was in to make the tackle, and the ball got away. Looked like Spencer might have gotten to it. There's Blackwood.
3 running backs for the Chargers. And number 43, once again, there you see Spencer leading around the corner. You don't have to give little Lionel James much of a crack.
Here's the 10-minute ticker updating you. Raiders leading by 1. Jets by 4. New England 20-3 over Indianapolis now. Kansas City up 14-7. Seattle up 14-0. First and 10 at the 20. That's Gary Anderson fighting to the 20-yard line. Offerdahl, number 56, again there making the play. We had a shot, of course, of Blackwood a moment ago. Lyle Blackwood. His brother is on the injured reserve list, and Lyle is backing up at both safety spots. There have been, as we pointed out early on, some patchwork jobs done in both these secondaries and some changes made.
The Dolphins, Lyle Blackwood was released a week ago, and they got down to 45. One of the reasons I think they put him out was not because of his ability, but because he's the oldest defensive back in the NFL, and they knew he would not be picked up.
Cleared waivers.
Right.
That's Anderson going wide to the right. Bounce over the middle. That's Anderson to the 9-yard line. First down. He's everywhere, folks.
He does it all. Up the middle, around the corner, catches the ball on the sideline or across the middle. Anything you'd like.
Bud Brown, 43. Paul Langford, 44 on the stop.
You see, Fouts knew exactly where he wanted to go. Just took a quick 3-step drop and dumped it over to Anderson across the middle.
First and goal to go at the 9. Chargers lead at 33-21. 1:40 to play, third quarter. Down to about the 6-yard line. Offerdahl, 56, makes the tackle. We'll check in now with Bob Costas.
Jay, what a wild one at Mile High Stadium. In the third quarter, Marcus Allen, who had scored twice earlier, loses the ball. Denver linebacker Ken Woodard picks it up, scores a 12-yard touchdown. Now it's the Raiders by a single point, and the difference in the game, a Raiders safety in the first half.
Boy, that sounds like you really got a good one going there. Here in San Diego, the Chargers trying to score again. Spencer, McGee, and James all in the backfield. This is James. James goes to the 2. Penalty marker down. Might have been a little holding in there. We'll wait and see. Holding against San Diego. Langford made the tackle on Lionel James as the little train had a full head of steam and got down to the 2, but it'll be nullified and brought back out.
Holding, number 80, offense, still second down.
Kellen Winslow, the veteran tight end.
That's the first holding penalty we've had all day, which is unusual here towards the end of the third quarter with 2 passing teams. Usually that flag comes out much more often.
Ball is spotted out at the 17-yard line. Don Shula, 12-10-1 on opening day. Coryell, as we mentioned, 10-2 on opening day. Tremaine Johnson, 83's in the game. That's Holohan, the tight end, going wide to the right over the middle. It's a touchdown to Holohan.
Holohan beat Key, a linebacker from the outside. Once again, Jay, just when you think you've got maybe Gary Anderson and maybe Lionel James hemmed in, they come back with answer with a Holohan or a Kellen Winslow. This is a tough offense to stop, and they may be the first team in the NFL that does have an offense that isn't instoppable.
Well, I'll tell you, they are very talented. The whole world knows that. But they seem to be able to run the football better in this game, and that helps their passing, which is so brilliant that, you know, it just is an unbelievable offensive show. 40-21, the Chargers, 21 seconds left.
Have you driven a Ford?
Now, get 2.9% financing or cash back on the purchase of most new Ford cars and trucks. Up to $600 cash back on Ford Ranger, $1,000 cash back on Thunderbird Turbo Coupe, and up to $600 on Tempos. 2.9% or cash back on other Ford cars and trucks, too. That's 2.9% financing or cash back. See your Ford dealer today.
For just a minute, we'd like to interrupt the serious work being done on IBM personal computers to announce a birthday. Ours. It's the 5th birthday of our expanding family of IBM personal computers. We'd like to thank all the people who have bought over 3 million of them, and to invite a few million more people to visit an authorized IBM dealer or call their IBM representative and join the celebration.
Today's small cars are tougher than ever on oil. Their high-compression engines not only rev high, they can run hotter than regular small car engines. Their searing heat can begin to break down an oil immediately. That's why there's Castrol, the only leading motor oil that in every grade provides maximum protection against viscosity and thermal breakdown. So use Castrol before your engine does something to get you heated up. Castrol, engineered for today's smaller cars.
Lonnie Anderson, Jack Elam, and Lee Weaver premiere September 13th following the Golden Girls.
Sounds like a good racket to me.
On Easy Street.
60,000 plus standing and applauding the Chargers in San Diego on a sunny Sunday afternoon, and they're turned on by Don Coryell's club. Manushka kicks off. Carter at the 2. Carter at the 15. Ball is loose, and the Chargers think they've got it. Let's see. They do. Chargers football. Donald Brown, the rookie from 32, in underneath the pile. Joe Carter returning it. He took a tremendous hit.
Caused the Dolphins problems today, Jay. First, they had the fumble from Clayton early on in the first quarter, and now you have the fumble on another kick return, this time by Joe Carter. A big hit inside, coughing the ball up, and that's the problem the Dolphins didn't need in this juncture. But the San Diego Chargers, their offense is cranked up enough without getting the ball this close in.
Looked like Thomas Benson, 57, came up with the football. Look at that sign. That'll tell you. 4 fumbles, all of them lost by Miami. That's Spencer. Spencer's inside the 10-yard line. Lyle Blackwood, 42, and Don McNeil, 28, making the stop. That's the end of the third quarter. And back they come on their feet to applaud the Chargers. We'll be back after these messages from your local station.
Monday. She's dangerous. He's the liberal living in the dark ages, and she's the first woman Supreme Court Justice in First Monday in October. Monday.
You want to take the 5th?
More and more people are discovering advantage banking at Great American. Well, it makes sense. Great American brings you the advantage of more locations, more services, and more ways to help you make the most of your time and money. At a time when you need every financial advantage, one bank is rising to the occasion. Great American, your advantage bank.
she sailed out of Canada, bound for our shores, to satisfy a thirst no one has before. Out of Canada's maritimes comes schooner. If it's a smooth imported beer you've been looking for, aye, your ship has come in.
In the year 1986, Arco introduced a whole new way to buy gas. And somehow, things were never the same.
Arco introduces PayPoint Electronic Cashier. If you have a bank ATM card, it will change the way you buy gas forever.
Hi, I'm Al Check. Join us for Sports Wrap after football.
Dan Marino. This was billed as a battle between Marino and Fouts. At the moment, Fouts 23 of 34, 294 yards, 3 touchdowns. Fouts just 6 yards passing yardage for his 48th 300-yard game. That's Spencer. Spencer getting down along the 5-yard line before he's pulled back by Jackie Shipp. Shipp is a very physical performer out of Oklahoma. All just inside the 5-yard line. Opening moments of the fourth quarter. They got the first down. It'll be first and goal to go at the 4. Don Coryell. Buford McGee, touchdown. It's party time in San Diego. Buford McGee, the third-year man from Mississippi. And you may remember earlier in the game I talked about this as a fellow who makes the option go. His second touchdown of the afternoon.
I like to put him in the backfield with Anderson and Spencer, and you've got a real arsenal back there to try to deal with. 46-21, the Dolphins have their work cut out for them.
The point after is good. 14-15 remaining to be played. Chargers 47, Dolphins 21.
Sunny days, Captain Ray, enjoy it while it's here. Now you're talking soda, now you're talking beer, now you're talking good times, and frozen fucking beer.
Stroh Light, smooth, refreshing, less filling.
Now you're talking Stroh, now you're talking beer, now you're talking good times, and frozen fucking beer.
Apache. There's nothing hotter in the air or on the ground for Jack Holt, Army crew chief.
The Apache's got advanced everything, like a TV for target acquisition. The gunner aims just by moving his head. Talk about hot. This bird can make tracks at 200 miles an hour. Now that's cool. No, that's hot.
Have you looked at Allstate homeowners rates lately?
Wow.
They're low. You may be surprised how low they are.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
A member of the Sears Financial Network.
As your life changes, your needs change. That's why you'll find experts in investments and real estate and insurance together at the Sears Financial Network. Come to a center at Sears or a member office for advice you can trust.
Today's game is brought to you by Mazda Cars and Trucks. The more you look, the more you like Mazda value. By Federal Express. Why fool around with anyone else? And by Bud Light. Everything else is just a light.
San Diego set to kick off. Vanershka to Hampton. He's coming out. Hampton got tripped as he went across the 15-yard line. Number 50, first-year man Gary Plummer. Spent 3 years at Oakland in the USFL. A free agent out of California made the play. Raiders now leading at 36-28. Buffalo up by 3 over the Jets. How about that one? Kansas City 21-7 over Cincinnati. New England in good shape against Indianapolis, and Seattle putting it on Pittsburgh. They're rooting for the defense. Marino play action fake, ball batted down and almost intercepted by Lee Williams. Williams has had an outstanding game. He had 11 sacks at Los Angeles in the USFL in '84. Supplemental #1 draft choice, 2 career interceptions, a touchdown, and he's out of Bethune-Cookman down in Florida.
And he just put that big claw up there, and Dan Marino must have thought the sun went away. He just knocked it down. It's tough to see over some of those big people in front. And Dan Marino's not a small quarterback by any means.
From the shotgun, 2nd and 10. Out into the flat, Hampton. Hampton getting to the 21-yard line. Gil Bird, number 22, playing him tough out there. Chargers have put 47 points on the board. Only 2 other teams in Dolphin history have ever scored more points than the Chargers have against Miami. Kansas City scored 48 points against them at Miami in '68. Buffalo 58 points at Buffalo in '66.
And that is before the Don Shula era. So it is the most points ever scored against the Don Shula team while he's been in Miami.
Penalty markers down over the middle. Tony Nathan, and we'll have to see what it's all about. While they sort this play out, time to check in for another update. Here's Bob Costas. Still here as we have problems trying to reach Mr. Costas. Don Shula talking there with the back judge. .13:02 to play. Through 3 quarters.
Look at that total yardage for the Chargers, 477 yards. They've also controlled the ball 31 minutes in time of possession.
Oh, boy.
As opposed to 13.5.
3rd and 12. Complete over the middle to Nathan. And Nathan has got the first down. Good effort by Tony Nathan, who played at Alabama, led Miami in rushing and receiving in '85. The first ever to do it. Mike Douglas, 53. Gil Bird, 22 on the stop.
You're not going to see the Chargers take too many chances, Jay, here in this position, up by as many points as they are. They're simply going to sit back and play zone and allow the Dolphin receivers to catch the football, keep them in the field of play, keep the clock moving.
They won't gamble as much on defense now as they would have if it's been a close game.
That's right, as they did in the 3rd quarter.
Marino, and a good throw and another first down. As the pass is complete over at the 42-yard line to Mark Clayton, Wayne Davis made the stop.
That's been the most successful play for the Dolphins all day long. The same play that Clayton caught earlier for a 49-yard touchdown. One thing that these 2 great quarterbacks you're watching this afternoon have in common, Marino and Fouts, is the ability to set up rapidly and release quickly. They're extremely difficult to sack. Last season, each was sacked 18 times. Over the middle, incomplete. Penalty marker down.
intended for Nat Moore, thrown just a bit behind him. Kevin Wyatt, number 30, the former Dolphin, had the coverage. Coach Shula with Don Strock there alongside. Our 10-minute ticker now brings you all the finals of today. Chicago over Cleveland, Washington over Philadelphia. The Rams get by St. Louis. Houston beat Green Bay. Detroit over Minnesota. San Francisco defeats Tampa Bay, and Atlanta gets by New Orleans. Penalty.
Illegal use of the hand. A jam to the face. Number 68, offense, still first down.
Greg Cook from Arkansas.
And that's his third penalty of the day. That will not sit well with Don Shula. The one thing he demands of his players is a good, clean, penalty-free game. He's not gotten one from Cook this afternoon.
Cook came over, of course. As we look again, there's the shot you could have almost called face mask.
Yeah, there's the shot up to Billy Ray Smith, number 54, around the face mask.
Steve Clark was injured in preseason, and Lee, of course, was moved to guard, and Cook came in to play right tackle. Out of the shotgun. The throw is underthrown. Walters, 23, had the coverage on James Pruitt, 82. Clock stopped with 11 minutes and 8 seconds remaining to be played.
The only two players on the Miami Dolphin offensive line that have been there throughout this period of time where they've gone through the injuries have been Dwight Stevenson, number 57, their center and All-Pro, and the guard right next to him, 61, Roy Foster, another All-Pro.
Second down and 20 at the 33. Marino calls the audible in the shotgun. Hands to Nathan. Nathan gets out to the 38-yard line. And we'll check in again. Here's Bob Costas.
And Jay, here's Jim Kelly's second touchdown pass in his NFL debut. Nice juggling catch by Andre Reed. He completes the 55-yard catch and run by sprinting down the sidelines and diving across with most of the fourth quarter remaining. It's the Bills by 3.
And I'll bet they're loving it up there in Orchard Park, New York today.
The first sellout they've had in a while. They must be enjoying it.
They're having fun here in San Diego. Here's 3rd and 15. The Dolphins 3 of 6 on third down conversions today. Timeout. Marino wants to talk things over. .25 remaining to be played. The fans doing the wave. San Diego defeating Miami.
An urgent message from the Mazda hotline. 626s are really moving at your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance. Mazda 626, the family sedan with world-class road car credentials. With standard features like front-wheel drive, independent rear suspension, and fuel-injected engine, it's already an outstanding value. But during your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance, the deals are even better. See him today and save.
To know no boundaries, to let yourself run free. To know no boundaries is what the world should be.
Wherever there are investment opportunities, Merrill Lynch is there with the help you need to make the most of them. Because at Merrill Lynch, we believe your world should know no boundaries.
To know no boundaries.
The way I see it, people used to know about nature, respected it. Then they figured they'd try to make it better. Take beer. Can you imagine why anyone would want to add anything artificial to something that just comes naturally from ingredients like grain, water, barley, hops? Neither can Coors.
Next Sunday, the NFL plays here when the Raiders battle the Redskins.
Before your team takes the field, our team hits the air. NFL 86.
Check your local listings and join us next Sunday, of course. Jay Randolph along with Jimmy Cephalo. We'll be up in Seattle next week with Kansas City. It's shaping up as a dandy.
Yeah, both are doing well this afternoon.
47-21, Chargers over the Dolphins. Third down, 15. Marino going long. And Snooper. And they can't connect. Davis had the coverage back there, number 20. And we've got a shoving match as tempers flare a bit up around the 35-yard line. Big number 91, Leslie O'Neal, the rookie from Oklahoma State for the Chargers, a little exercised.
Along with Grant Cook, number 68 for the Dolphins.
Reggie Roby, number 6 draft pick, 43.7, second best in the AFC in 85. And today, 42 yards on 3 kicks. And they're going to pass out of this formation, and the tight end can't handle it. Johnson was wide open. They had the first down. That was Jim Jensen. Jensen, who is a wide receiver, a quarterback, a specialty teams player, and he had Dan Johnson wide open as they tried to come up with the first down on 4th down and couldn't do it.
Cleaver, did you send those galoshes to Cleveland? They didn't get there.
Yes, Mr. Reliable. Air Express, as per your instructions.
Which company did you use?
Why? Aren't they all the same?
Hold it. If you'd used Federal Express, you wouldn't be having this problem. Come with me. You see, Federal Express isn't the same as everybody else because today it takes much more. For instance, we have computers in our vans.
Oh.
So our couriers know instantly when there's a pickup.
I see.
And at our stations, we track every package and can tell you its exact status within 30 minutes or your money back.
Is that right?
And we have the most advanced communication system in the business.
I see.
So we can give you the information you need quickly. This makes us more reliable.
We see.
Next time, send it Federal Express, because all Air Express companies are not the same.
Reliable. I like that in an Air Express company.
Yes, Mr. Reliable.
I've always had a special feeling for Mavericks. It's gotten me associated with winners like the Raiders and Mazda. And you know what? Mazda trucks were just named #1 in overall customer satisfaction. They beat some pretty big names to come out on top. Not only are Mazda owners satisfied with their truck, they're even more satisfied with the way Mazda comes through for them after they bought it. You know, I like being even a small part of all this winning that's going on around me.
A very small part.
That small?
Right.
Come on.
Presenting the NFL 86 team. Ahmad Rashad with interviews and features. Frank DeFord, commentary and essays. Paul McGuire with predictions and analysis. And our host, Bob Costas. NFL 86, it takes a colorful team to cover a colorful sport.
Jim Jensen, number 11, is playing fullback for the punting team. Now he happens to be the third-team quarterback for the Dolphins.
We'll go back to that in just a minute as the handoff goes to Spencer, and he gets inside the 35-yard line. Hit for the rookie T.J. Turner, 95.
The reason this play has a chance to work is because Jensen is also a tough special teams player, and the Charger defense are not alerted simply because he's playing fullback on the punting team. Now, this should have worked for the Dolphins, but Dan Johnson seems to have slowed up and stopped a little bit. Because of that, Jensen overthrew him.
Miami's total rushing yardage, 40 yards today. And, of course, they did not have a 100-yard rushing day in all of the 85 season. Rushing the football a real problem for the Dolphins these days. 167 yards rushing for San Diego, a team known for their passing. Hand off to Spencer. Spencer now has 54 yards on the afternoon. James with 54 and Anderson with 61. Little 99 and Turner 95 making the play. Raiders by 5. Boy, they've scored 67 points in that one. Jets leading Buffalo now 21-17. Then it is New England over Indianapolis, Kansas City up 21-7, and Seattle shutting out the Steelers. 3rd down and 3 at the 31-yard line. 9 minutes to play. Don Shula's Dolphins down 47-21. Pitch to James. James short of the first down as William Judson, number 49, made the stop.
There's another great block by Spencer. Tim Spencer, number 43, wiping out the right side of the Dolphin defense, allowing the runner to get around the corner.
Fans here yelling, go, go, and they put Pete Holohan, the extra tight end, in there.
Take a look at number 43, Spencer, the right side of your screen, wiping out a linebacker for the Dolphins. Number 56, John Oferdal, was the one taking the punishment from Spencer.
William Judson did a good job to make that play. Well, here is 4th and 1 as the Chargers go for it. Pitch comes to Buford McGee. He's got it and more. This is the first time in a long time, long time, that this team has gone over 200 yards rushing. San Diego, we talk about their great ability to go through the air and Air Coryell, but we're going to have another nickname too.
Ground Coryell.
Ground Coryell.
Not since 1981 against the Cleveland Browns have they gone over the 200-yard mark, but they did it today against the Dolphins.
On 1st and 10, Spencer straight ahead for a couple. Jerome Foster with the tackle. Again, here's Bob Costas.
Jay, yesterday, Miloslav Machir was able to beat Boris Becker, but today against top-seeded Ivan Lendl, he ran out of miracles. In straight sets, it's Lendl 6-4, 6-2, 6-0 for the men's title in the U.S. Open. Back to San Diego.
So it's all over. Lendl and Navratilova, the champions. All hail. 2nd down and 7 at the 18. Buford McGee. McGee hit down at about the 17 by John Oferdal, number 56. Oferdal, as we've told you, a very impressive young man, just 21 years old, out of Western Michigan, calling the defensive signals. And he was drafted on the 2nd round, the 52nd man chosen, the first pick for the Dolphins because of the Hugh Green deal.
The Dolphins really try to go into this season bolstering their run defense, and if today's any indication, they've got to go back to the bulletin board and start from scratch.
Spencer and Anderson are the running backs. Fouts throwing. It's complete to Anderson, and he doesn't get anything. Hit right about at the line of scrimmage. Donovan Rose, 26, making the play, and Ralph Panershka's coming on. Fouts is still about 6 yards away from the 300-yard game. We have 6:18 remaining to be played. Panershka set to kick the field goal. He moved to this country in the 10th grade, or moved to Southern California, Boston in the 10th grade, started playing soccer out here. Mojenko will hold. 36-yarder. It's good. Don Coryell told us yesterday, well, he hasn't had a very good preseason, but we know he can do it under pressure. Chargers, 50. Dolphins, 21.
He's Don Shula, the winningest coach in the NFL, admired and respected by millions.
Sure, winning is important on the field, but winning is also important in the home, in the community. The National Football League is concerned not only about professional football, but they're also concerned about you and I in the community. Contrary to what people believe, a lot of good things do happen in Miami. It's a city where people have come, they've migrated there, and they've been able to establish a new life. Families that have been broken have been able to get it back together. There have been community services such as United Way that have been able to help these people get back on track and to make it and to start a new life and to realize that dream that they had when they came to Miami. That's why I have such faith in United Way. It gives to all different types of families, regardless of race, creed, or color. It's there to help the needy, and that's what's important to me.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
Don Shula has urged his players for years to get involved in the community and put something back into it, and he leads by example.
Hampton on this return, and it's a good one out to the 35-yard line. Lorenzo Hampton, who averaged 23.7 in preseason. Well, it's been a tough afternoon for Don Shula's Dolphins, but you know that this man will be back. But he's taking a real licking here this afternoon, 50-21. Manershka now with 3 field goals, 3 for 3 on the afternoon for Ralph. 26-yarder, 2 36-yarders. And he's looking happy and looking very good physically. Folks in this part of the world know he was near death. Battled back from that stomach disorder. Marino over the middle, and it's the tight end Bruce Hardy who's out to the 42-yard line. Billy Ray Smith making the tackle. And again, we'll check in with Robert Costas.
Jay, since the last time we checked with you on this game, the Jets have scored twice. Once on a short run by Johnny Hector, and this, a 71-yard catch and run by the veteran Wesley Walker from Ken O'Brien. With a little more than 5 minutes remaining, it's the Jets 28-17 at Buffalo.
So the Jets battling back at Rich Stadium. Hand off to Lorenzo Hampton. Earl Wilson 93 and Billy Ray Smith 54. Lee Williams 99 in on the tackle.
The Dolphins are trying to get into the huddle as quickly as possible. That running play is just not going to make it, down by 29 points at this junction.
Only one team has ever scored more points than this against the Dolphins. I'll relate that again. Buffalo in September of '66 at Buffalo, 58 points. Marino, and it's just short of the first down at the 44-yard line to Nat Moore. Jeffrey Dale, 37, making the stop.
There's a hurry-up offense by the Dolphins. If they're going to get anything done and make any approach to eat away at that lead, they've got to go to the hurry-up.
Incomplete, intending it for Bruce Hardy. Leslie O'Neal making it tough on Dan Marino. This 50 points on the board for the Chargers marks the 10th time in Charger history that they've scored 50 or more.
And Marino doesn't have much time to get rid of the football. O'Neal, as you see, number 91 coming in from the backside. Dan Marino will remember that for about a week or so. He'll get that feeling away by the time they line up next Sunday.
3:59 left to play. 3rd down and 1 for the Dolphins at the 43-yard line. Out into the flat to Hampton. Hampton's got the first down. He goes down, steps out at the 35. David Martin, the cornerback, 33 over there, making the play.
It'll be a difficult week in Miami at the St. Thomas training camp for the Dolphin players. Don Shula certainly won't panic. He's been down before, as you said earlier, Jay. He'll be 0-1 in all probability. He's just 4 minutes left in this football game. But
he's been 0-1 before.
Yes, he has. But I guarantee you, it will not be a week where they'll gain any weight as Dolphin players going to their practice sessions. It's going to be a tough one for them.
They meet the Colts at the Orange Bowl next Sunday. The Colts, of course, playing New England today. Marino throwing, and a fine catch by Lorenzo. No, it's incomplete. And Hampton's a little upset with the call. Hampton thought he held that ball long enough over there to get a catch, but the official on the play ruled it incomplete.
Billy Ray Smith is covering here, and that's supposed to be a mismatch. Lorenzo Hampton, a fast defensive back, does have a step on him. Let's see.
I guess he never had, well.
That's really a tough call, even sitting here and looking at it once again.
Sure was. Of course, we have the instant replay experiment in 1986 in the National Football League. Came into play in the Bear game in 3rd play today. Not come into play here this afternoon. Look out. Wow-wee. Thomas Benson. Benson, number 57. And one thing on his mind. That's the 4th time that Marino has been sacked here today.
They've done it all preseason long. They had 15 sacks in 4 football games. Ron Lynn, the defensive coordinator, he's been confusing the Dolphins all day long. You can see it here. Marino trying to orchestrate things back there and moving people around, moving Tony Nathan, number 22, and that more side to side. But it's number 57, Benson, right up the gut. Nobody touched him.
He was only sacked 18 times in all of last season. 4 already today.
Well, that patchwork offensive line has something to do with that, but credit the Chargers. They've done a job today.
This defensive unit, certainly on what we've seen today, is an improved defensive unit. No question about that. Marino almost intercepted. Mike Douglas, number 53, went high into the air. Mark Clayton, 83, the intended receiver.
And when you have a young club, they get better if you perform early enough.
They having fun in Denver?
Oh, what a game.
What a game that is. Kansas City by 7. New England in control, and Seattle really doing the job on the Steelers. They got nobody back downfield to receive this punt from Roby. And it's just going to hit, and the Dolphin player down there trying to down it. That was Mike Smith, the second-year man from Texas, El Paso, and he was in great shape to try and down that ball, but it just came right over the outstretched fingertips. Dan Marino talking with Don Strock, the backup. Strock, 13 years in the National Football League, chatting with him tonight. Silver Spoons and Punky Brewster, and then Disney's DTV Romancin', followed by Popeye Doyle. Looking forward to that Popeye Doyle show. That's, of course, come out of the French Connection.
Is that right?
Yep. On the sweep, Buford McGee. And McGee is up across the 20 to the 22-yard line. Tackle made by Jackie Shipp. And again to New York, Bob Costas.
Jay, in an incredible game at Mile High, the Broncos have come back. First, a 51-yard Rich Carlos field goal. Then this 7-yarder from Elway to Gene Lang. With just under 9 minutes remaining, the Broncos now claim the lead, 38-36.
Boy, oh boy, Robert, and you fellas in New York doing an incredible job of keeping us updated this afternoon. It's 50-21. The Chargers leading the Dolphins here, and Mark Herman is at quarterback. Herman, who played at Purdue, All-American there. That was McGee carrying, and Mark Brown, 51 on the stop. There's Mark Herman. Had a fine preseason. He was 29 out of 44 for 429 yards and a touchdown. Dan Fouts, well, he's not going to get his 48 300-yard game today, but I don't think it bothers him too much.
No, I don't think it does. It was all said and done when he finishes a career. If he has 55 or 65, it won't much matter to him.
We'll be back with more right after this.
AT&T, the right choice.
In their last regular season game, the Patriots lead the Bengals by 4. With just 2 minutes remaining, New England has a 4th down and 1 at the Bengal 42. Should the Patriots go for it to try to maintain possession or play it safe and punt? What would you do?
The leader in long-distance service now costs less. AT&T has lowered weekday and evening prices 13.8%, the largest single reduction in our history, but not the first. Since 1984, our prices overall have dropped more than 20%. Of course, you can always look to AT&T for the highest quality service, and now, see where our prices have gone. AT&T, the right choice.
What did you decide? The Patriots elect to go for it, and Robert Weathers' 42-yard touchdown run clinches the victory to send New England on the road to the Super Bowl. The Patriots made the right choice.
There you see, number 70, number 1 draft choice, James Fitzpatrick out of USC. He's been somewhat of a disappointment. Fouts calls him Fatspatrick. He weighs 302 pounds.
But kiddingly, he takes it.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's,
he has no choice, of course, but he does take it away.
They think down the road that Fitzpatrick is going to be a player.
Well, Fitzpatrick and Lachey, they hope are going to be the bookends that'll carry them for a very long time. Fitzpatrick, they knew was going to be a project when they drafted him. He had a lot of raw talent, a very large man, 6'7", and over 300 pounds. In fact, he reported about 3 1/4. And so he, if they can work with him and develop him, he and Lachey on the opposite sides could be a real formidable start of an offensive line for the Chargers.
50-21. Chargers lead it. 3rd down and 4 at the 26. Herman over the middle, underthrowing. Pass intended for Charlie Joyner up at the 30-yard line. Jackie Shipp, number 50, making the play. And Herman limping. I think he got a shot in the right leg. It's no fun. Come in.
No, it's not.
Did that happen to you?
He was injured during the preseason as well, opening the door for Tom Flick to come in and play some quarterback in their final preseason game.
Dolphins put Pruitt back in a single safety this time to receive the punt from Ralph Mojenko.
There's 10 people at the line of scrimmage for the Dolphins, Jay. They're going to try to put some pressure on Mojenko.
He's a left-footed kicker. Poor kick. Woody Bennett is coming in on the play. So they're going to have good field position. We'll be back in a moment.
Charlie, give me a light. Charlie, a Bud Light. If you just ask for a light beer, you never know what you'll get.
Give me a light. Bud Light. Hey, thanks.
So if you want the less filling light beer with the first name and taste, don't just ask for a light beer.
I can have a light? Bud Light.
Bud Light. Because everything else is just a light.
An urgent message from the Mazda hotline. RX-7s are included in your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance. RX-7, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year. Winner of the IMSA GTU Championship.
Nat Moore makes the catch. Strock taking over here for Marino in the final seconds. Danny Walters had the coverage.
Don Strock has the absolute best job in all of football, Jay.
And he does it as well as anybody.
He does it extremely well. He's a coach to Dan Marino, has been since Marino came into the league 4 years ago. He's been a backup to Bob Greasy, to David Woodley, and now to Dan Marino. But he gives the Dolphins something they need, the confidence that their backup can come in and win a football game. And every time he gets the opportunity, he does it.
Led the nation at Virginia Tech in passing back in 1972. Over the middle, dropped by number 82, Pruitt. Pruitt's not had a good couple of days. As you said, he missed the plane, took the wrong freeway yesterday, and hasn't been able to get on track today, but looked very, very good in preseason.
Yeah, he dropped a couple of balls this afternoon, so you can add a couple of completions to Marino if Pruitt were able to hang on.
3 touchdowns for Marino, but there were 4 sacks thrown in there.
When you look at those numbers, if you didn't know the score, that's certainly good enough to win a football game. But unfortunately, Dan Fouts on the other side had an incredible afternoon. And 21 points just haven't been enough for the Dolphins here.
They've been successful on 4 of 9 third down situations. Strock throwing, and they're successful here as the pass is complete to Tony Nathan for the first down, and Jeffrey Dale, 37, makes the stop at about the 17-yard line. Now, Fouts this afternoon, 24 of 36, 293 yards. From the shotgun, Strock throwing and almost picked off. Number 23, Danny Walters, cutting in front of Pruitt. Fouts with the 293. He was sacked twice today, 3 touchdowns. But he was in a position where his club had the lead all the way, and he utilized his running backs today so beautifully. Spencer, Anderson, McGee, and James, they all played a part. And
that's right. Marino got into the position of being behind earlier, and the Chargers knew he had to throw the football. Fouts was able to mix it up with the running game, and they used both their running and passing attack very well this afternoon.
Pass is complete down to the 5. In for the touchdown goes Nat Moore. Nat Moore making a fine effort. Jeffrey Dale, 37. Danny Walters, 23.
And when you're in a pinch, you have to go to the veteran. Here's Nat Moore. I said earlier, he's the most crafty receiver I've ever watched. Just take a look at him here. First of all, he makes a move to beat the defender. And then he dances, bounces, leaps, and finally pirouettes into the end zone.
A lot of people had a shot at him, but he just decided, I'm going on. Quad Reves with the extra point. 58 seconds remaining to be played. Chargers 50, Dolphins.
Ship message from the Mazda hotline. RX-7s are included in your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance. RX-7, Motor Trend's Import Car of the Year, winner of the IMSA GTU Championship 7 years straight, and the current SCCA Pro Rally Manufacturers Champion. RX-7. It's always been a red-hot performer. Now the deals are hot, too. Hurry to your Mazda dealer's year-end clearance.
Well, now it's time for the Most Valuable Player Award, sponsored by Budweiser. Today's MVP is Fouts. Dan Fouts, of course, the San Diego Chargers' #1 pilot. And Budweiser will donate $1,000 to the United Way on behalf of Dan Fouts. United Way campaigns underway across America, benefiting so many in your community, wherever you are.
The Chargers have to be very, very happy with their opening today for a number of reasons. One, not only that they scored 40 or 50 points, and are beating the Dolphins, but because their young players performed so very well. Leslie O'Neal, their #1 choice, had a whale of a game from his defensive end position. Put a lot of pressure on Marino and the Dolphins.
Onside kick. See that coming, and it's finally going to be one of the Chargers that gets it, although the Dolphins certainly had their opportunity.
And that's a big mistake by Miami because they cannot advance that ball. It's bouncing on the ground. The only thing they can do is fall on it. They can't advance it. You might as well get it and hold on to it.
Those are the final scores. Many of you have seen them earlier, but if you're just tuning us in, the 10-minute ticker on our football coverage for 1986. Detroit with a win over Minnesota today. San Francisco getting off with a good start. Denver finally getting the lead there. They're still going. Jets leading by 4. Well, you're going to see Tom Flick, #12 in the game now for San Diego. Third-year man from the University of Washington. He had a good preseason. Buford McGee, and McGee gets to the 44-yard line before Mark Brown, #51, makes the tackle.
Don Coryell elected to go with 3 quarterbacks on his roster. Tom Flick, he said, as he mentioned to us yesterday, he felt it was good enough to win a football game for him if the first 2 guys, Fouts and Herman, would go down. But what he does in that case is he goes light at another position. Very few coaches around the NFL, when the NFL owners decided to keep the 45-man rosters, decided to go with a 3rd quarterback. So Flick must have impressed Coryell very much.
We're down to 12 seconds. A lot of the faithful, the sellout crowd, have headed for the freeways, but those that are here coming to their feet. Big win for the San Diego Chargers. Don Coryell and his San Diego Chargers besting Don Shula and the Miami Dolphins 50-28. Tonight after Silver Spoons and Punky Brewster, it's Disney's DTV Romancin'. And of course, also coming up tonight, the world premiere of Popeye Doyle. For Jimmy Cephalo, Jay Randolph, here in San Diego, the Chargers win it big, 50-28. San Diego over Miami. So long from Southern California.
A promotional fee has been paid to NBC by United Airlines, serving 13 cities in Asia and the Pacific. United, a fresh breeze across the Pacific.
This has been a presentation of NBC Sports, proud to be the network